And we had a roofer Friday that, Deputy Doc, was that you that called over and talked to that roofer? I don't know. I don't remember if it was you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to talk to you about that one. That guy kind of irritated me, too. I mean, Friday, I was lit up, man. I couldn't stop getting... I was just over-irritated, I guess. Maybe that's the bottom line. Okay, John, what is going on with you today, John?
Hey, how you doing, man? So I had moved to Baltimore, Maryland in 2015, so I wanted to sell my home. And the mother of my child came, and all I wanted was $100,000. So we came up with an agreement that it would be 4-year payment, $30,000, $30,000, $30,000, and $10,000. She paid me.
I lost you right there, John. She paid you how much so far? John, you're going in and out, man. It was 30, 30, 30, and 10. Did she pay the 30 the first year?
She did.
And then how about the second year? Where did she end up screwing you?
So in 2020, she forged a quitclaim deed. She had her sister do the notary, and they forged my mom's name on that in February. And then she went and filed the quitclaim deed with my name forged on it in May.
Wait a minute. So, she literally, hold on a second. She actually used her sister as a notary, forged your name, and you absolutely did not sign this. And then they filed it, and then they stopped making payments to you?
Correct.
Oh, my.
I had trial. I went to trial last Thursday, and I represented myself.
No, that was stupid.
At the end of the trial, the judge said that she breached the contract.
Really?
He said it 5 times. She breached the contract. He asked her lawyer repeatedly, why shouldn't I give him back his house?
So what happened? What ultimately happened?
So this Friday coming up, is supposed to be his judgment, but he told me I need to work to get out her because it's not me.
So wait a minute. He invalidated the quitclaim altogether, right?
Correct.
So the judge said the quitclaim is BS, it's gone. Now you've got to basically get the money from her. So is the house back in your name?
No, the house is still in her name. I presented evidence that showed that the house was in her name.
Well, then he didn't. Wait, John, then he didn't invalidate the quitclaim.
No, the house is still in her name.
Okay, but hold on, man. Here's what I need to know. The judge said what about the quitclaim? Did he agree it was fraudulent?
He did. She already took a felony charge for that. She took a felony charge to go for forgery.
Okay, you need to get this house now back in your name. You should be able to take, was that the actual decree? I mean, she took the forgery hit, but is the case over?
The judgment will be ruled on Friday at 3:30.
Steve, what are you thinking on this? Just from, if the judge said it was invalid, you know who we can also ask is Bradley O'Brien, Suzanne, but the next step that needs to be, he needs to get the house back in his name. And then he needs to basically, did your ex-wife sign a actual purchase agreement with you to buy it for the 30-30-30-10?
So I was in Baltimore, Maryland, and I gave my mother permission to sign the promissory note saying that there would be that agreement of the 4 payments.
Okay. Okay, but it's signed. I guess, did the other party sign it, your ex?
They didn't have a copy of it. She says she lost it. She doesn't even know where it's at.
Okay, so but then I don't even know why this matters. If the quitclaim is gone, you should still have your house. Here's what I want to do. I want to try to get Bradley O'Brien on. Hold on, man. I want to get a real estate attorney. But Steve Cizik, you're an attorney. I mean, you're here on behalf of Larson Tax Relief. But what would you do in his circumstance?
Well, it sounds to me once the judgment is issued, right, then he can utilize that to go back and get the title switched back into his name. It shouldn't be that big of a deal.
No, in fact, I think it's a quiet title action, right. But I want to talk to I do want to talk to Bradley O'Brien. To me, this is pretty straightforward, John, but hold on. 303-713-8255. Suzanne, let's see if we can't get Bradley O'Brien on. Then Jamie, he said he owed the IRS. I'm curious how much money. 303-713 Martino, 303-713-8255.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Pretty active driving out there throughout the Denver roads and freeways. Up on the north end of town near Thornton, I-25 southbound at 84th. Looks like we've got an accident in the right shoulder that's gumming things up for drivers back from 104th. Just east of there, I-76 westbound between 74th and I-270. Left lane closed due to road construction. Congested driving through the area, but once you get past it, it's free and clear. And just south of there, no surprises here, I-270 westbound slow between I-70 and Vasquez. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, partly cloudy skies today, but hot with a high of 90 degrees. The current temperature in Denver is 77. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Red Pilled America is the storytelling show that is saving our culture. This week we answer the question, do illegal aliens commit less crime than American citizens? Listen to Red Pilled America every week on the free iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
You know, a lot of times when we think of retirement, we only think of how much Social Security are we going to get? Or we're thinking about, how about that 401k I've had forever? Well, there's a lot to thinking about retirement. A lot of these 401ks you might want to combine into one IRA. You might want to put some in some form of property investment. You might have things like a Roth hanging out there. Certain things, certain retirement vehicles, once you start thinking about retirement, are going to change. You need to talk to someone that understands retirement, not just the financial part of it, not just the investment part. You need to talk about the income, the tax burden, the health care. What are you going to do? Let's say you have great health care at your old employer. It's going to be time to get on to Medicare. How about the legacy part? Who are we going to leave things to? What do we want to do in the long term? I want you to talk to the guys at Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. They've got that 5-pillar approach to help you through that part of your life. Give them a call. They'll talk to you for as long as it takes so you understand everything that has to do with your retirement. It's going to be an individual plan tailored to you and your needs. 970-663-3211. A lot of people have no clue on the tax burdens that are coming up when you start having to pull out of a 401k. There's certain ways to do it, and these guys can help you. 970-663-3211 or rpcenter.com. Now let's talk about Kurt Rogers. What does he do? He sells the liquid loan. I love this product right now. If you have high credit card debt, or maybe you're looking for an investment property, maybe you're finally ready to buy that condo up in the mountains at Winter Park or wherever you like to ski. This product is unbelievable. Even though rates are high right now, and they're not crazy high, we just think they're high because they were low for so long. The liquid loan is an incredible product because it doesn't knock you over the head with all that interest up front like a 30-year or 50-year product or 15-year product. I want you to call Kurt up, and if you have a traditional mortgage right now, you can be shocked how much money you can save each month, how much cash flow you can save by switching to the liquid loan, even if the interest rates are a little higher. I'm not kidding. Call Kurt up, 720-895-0500. He can talk to you on the phone. They can do a webinar. You can meet in person, 720-895-0500.
Do you have a car taking up space in your garage? Not enough cash taking up space in your wallet? It's time to sell your car to the sharpest rides. With every vehicle sold, we will make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Call 303-9343-410 today.
Facing a job loss? Considering a pension buyout, a severance package, or what to do with your 401k? Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, and I can help. 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604.
When it comes to kitchen countertops and cabinets, you're flooded with choices. But my recommendation is but one choice, Art of Granite, luxury with value. Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Wholesale prices on all stone and surfaces, including quartz. Pay only for fabrication and installation. And when the kitchen is done, the bathroom is free. All tear out and haul away is also free. Call now for your selection of quartz. All the latest colors. 303-386-5919. TheArtofGranite.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOLD for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's promo code GOLD. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOLD for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GOLD for a $5 bonus.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Divorce touches all areas of your life. Family, friends, career, retirement. Few things in life affect so much. At Cordell & Cordell, we have a lot of...
But they have homes down there, $350 with a swimming pool. Yeah, absolutely. Tell Tom to get rid of them. Or tell to leave. Absolutely, positively.
So you can use that as your second home, or you think of relocating and just doing another? What do you think?
No, just second home.
Yeah. That's cheaper than a place in Fraser.
Well, here's really what I'm banking. I think in 5-6 years it's going to be a lot more valuable. I mean, that's all I'm thinking.
But are you doing it as an investment property?
Purely investment. I mean, we'll use it.
Yeah. So you do it as investment.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not even like an Airbnb investment. I've been going back and forth on that. First of all, there's a lot of homes down there. You can't do short-term rentals because of the parish doesn't allow. But it doesn't even matter. I think the value is going to be the equity growth.
It wouldn't take much to make some money off of that.
And I get a little nervous about people. I guess a lot of people Airbnb, but
yeah, I do. But I have in my place up in Fraser, I have a lock-off. So it's got its own entrance. It's got its own.
Where is it in Fraser?
Just the Old Town. So right next to the school and the library.
So as you're Winter Park going towards Granby, you hit Fraser. Do you make a right and go up?
Make a left.
Oh, you make a left. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
All right, 303-713-8255. 303 Martino. I'll let you know when the line's open. All right, we've got Brad O'Brien, attorney at law, olslaw.com. I love Bradley. Any issues with real estate? But this one in particular, Brad, is pretty interesting. So follow me down the road. John had to deal with his ex-wife to sell her the house. She was going to pay $30 a year, so $90,000 and then $10,000. He was selling it to her for $100,000. They had an agreement to do this. She made the first year's payments. Hey, John, how many thousands did she actually pay you? Got it. So she paid him $65K, Brad. Then what she decides to do, she goes out and quitclaims the house to herself. Forges, listen to this, man, forges his name and has her sister, that's a notary, notarize the quitclaim deed, and then they file it. They end up in court, and last week, according to John, the judge agreed that the quitclaim was BS and it should have never been done and it was forged, and he agrees with that 100%. Is that correct, John? So, Brett, right now, even though the judge said that, and I assume that's going to be in a decree somewhere, my question to you is, what is his next step on actually getting this house back into his name? And then what do you do with the sale agreement where, you know, she paid $65,000 so far out of the 100, but then she tried to steal the house from him? Is there any ramifications there? And I have no idea, nor do you, what this sale agreement looks like. But give me your thoughts. So he would literally record what the judge said, the decree, and then on top of that, he wouldn't have to do a quiet title action or anything. That within itself would do it. Got it. Now, how about on the second part of this, where she's already paid him $65? John, what is your intention? I mean, are you happy if she must already be in default, right? Well, I mean, come on, man. People mug people and nothing happens anymore now. I just saw a guy hit someone in a car this morning on the news, literally hit him with a car, jumped out and mugged them, and that person will probably never be caught. And if they were caught, depending on where they are, they'll be let go. But that part doesn't matter. Is there any way, Brad, without seeing the buy-sell agreement, what do you suggest here? I mean, just
he tried to okey-doke him at the end doesn't mean he can just keep the 65 and the house, does it?
Well, this sounds like a breach of contract situation, so the first place to look for what to do next is the written contract.
Yep.
Is there a written contract?
John, what do you have? Is it an actual, what is the document?
She said that she couldn't find a written contract. I was in Baltimore, Maryland, and I gave my mother permission to do the deal, the 30-30-30.
Wait a second, John, you don't even have to go into that. You're saying she doesn't have the contract and you don't have the contract.
No.
That makes it even more interesting. So let's say, for argument's sake, Brad, she can prove that she paid $65,000. Where does that put the whole thing with no document?
Well, it's really messy. The statute of fraud says a contract concerning real estate has to be in writing in order to be enforceable. Now, there's an exception for partial performance. So it sounds like she might have part performed by paying $65,000 so far. So that part may be enforceable, would make the contract enforceable against John here.
Yeah, but John could even say at this point, well, that's fine. She did give me 65, but I didn't sell it for 100. I sold it for 400.
Right. So it's the balance of the contract, the other 35, that may not be enforceable due to the contract statute of frauds. So it's a messy situation. Probably would take a judge to resolve it.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, John, what is your intention at this point? I mean, as soon as you get the decree from the judge and file that, the house is going to be back in your name. So, I mean, what is your intention from here? If she doesn't have the contract, I kind of think he's holding most of the cards, Brad.
She had been renting that house out to Section 8. So she's been gaining about $1,000 a month on there.
So think about it. Yeah, so she's making money on his house trying to rip him off. You know what? Here is the issue, and Brad already said it, John. I swear to God, a judge has to untangle this. They absolutely have to. Hold on a second. Bradley, I don't know if you can hold on, but this is a hard break. I hope you can. I don't know how much more he can add to it, Suzanne, so let's figure it out. Larry, Adam, Jamie, you guys hold tight. My name's Mark Major. We'll be right back after this.
No contract. I would say it costs more. And you could even say she was renting it. If she's subleasing it out to Section 8 and taking all that money in, I'd be so pissed she tried to screw me like that.
I mean, in that contract, it would have a no sublet clause, but you don't have a contract.
And then it gets even weirder because he said, let's say the contract does appear.
Yeah.
He made the point 2 or 3 times that his mother signed it. I don't know if that means sign his name.
On his behalf or whatever. I mean, she could as his agent, I guess. But still, I mean, she should have a copy. She didn't have a copy?
He said no one's got a
both
copy.
parties have a copy. I don't think well, maybe his mom didn't keep a contract.
In real estate in Colorado, man, that's written only.
Yeah.
There's no verbal, there's nothing. What a curious situation. I think he holds most of the cards in this.
Well, he keeps the property. He could kick her out because there was no contract.
He's probably got tenants in there.
Give me back my $65,000 though.
She'd have to hire a lawyer and try to get it.
Get it back. That's really.
Can you imagine? She walks into an attorney's office and says, "Listen, I paid this guy $65K. Then I tried to steal his house." Of course, she's not going to say that. That'll slowly
charging him.
Yeah, that'll slowly be found out from the attorney. But I have no contract. I have nothing. But and by the way, I paid him cash, so I can't even prove that I paid it.
Yeah. It'd be tough to get that back. But he can kick her out. I mean, he could just.
It sounds like she's not in there.
If she's not in there,
she's got to get out.
She should get somebody over there to. Whoever's in there needs to get evicted. Needs to rent it to somebody else.
Totally tried to okey doke and went to quitclaim. I love it. It's crazy.
What was the plan though?
We had
to pay him because probably if she had just paid him,
She probably stopped making money.
Yeah.
She probably didn't have more money to pay.
That's where it fell apart.
And that's where it fell apart.
Because if she would have just paid him, it would have been.
This is almost as good as the lady who, remember, her granddaughter stole the house from her?
It was her auntie.
Her aunt, right.
So she had her auntie who knowingly signed a quitclaim because she was falling behind in the payments. She couldn't work anymore, older woman. And the, not granddaughter, but the niece moves in and says, well, we'll go ahead and refi it, but we'll have to do it in my name, so you got to quitclaim it because you don't have any income. Right. So sure enough, they quitclaim it over. And about a year goes by, and then basically she says, okay, Annie, I'm selling the house. You got to get the fuck out. And that was it. She sold the house. Literally, when the lady called, the house just got sold, and the sheriff was going to show up and basically remove the ante.
Wow.
Actually, I think it was a little after that. She actually did get moved out by the sheriff, and she was living in the basement with a friend or something.
Yes.
She, what was it, like $250,000 in equity?
Yep.
Jeez.
About $250,000.
Yeah, just got away with it. Goodness.
God, you can't trust anybody.
That's great.
Your damn aunt.
Yeah.
You okey-doke your aunt.
250, and you know.
If you would put the screws, if you would make it to where your aunt that lived in the same house her whole life, built up $250K in equity, if you're going to kick her to the curb and she's going to live in a basement somewhere, you will do a lot. I mean, if you can do that, you will fuck over anybody walking down the road.
Yeah, you don't care.
I have a lot of equity in my place. I'm going to watch out for my niece and nephew.
Yeah. Hey, Auntie, can we move in? Fuck no. I know what you're up to.
I'm not signing anything.
I think my favorite story is, lady comes to my office, calls me up, says, I think I'm in labor. I said, well, come to the office, let me check it out. So I check her out. She's in early labor. Go to labor delivery. I'll come up and talk to you after office hours. Her husband drops her off. We get a call a couple hours later. Honey, I'm on my way to California. Nice knowing you.
Oh, my God.
I told you that. So he just left her there.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Oh, no.
He just left her there.
That's hardcore, man.
That is hardcore. I'm going to California. Good luck with the baby.
He's had a couple where they didn't know they were pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, you deliver with thousands of babies, you're going to have everything.
I always say, all this talk about transgender, everything, it may be coincidence. I don't know. This may be a coincidence, but of all the thousands of babies I delivered, they were all delivered from women. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's amazing. There wasn't one guy that had delivered it. Yet.
That'll happen now.
Don't you think that's a coincidence only?
Good thing you're retired. I guess who
knows? You'll never know.
That'll be some
crazy stuff. That'll be interesting.
Joe
comes in pregnant.
When we will get to the point, I think, that they can somehow carry a baby. No. I don't know conceive.
No.
You don't think, no way. There's no room in there.
Yeah.
There just ain't no room.
But if you got a woman who identifies as a guy, he'll come in.
Right. That would be the argument.
Yeah, well, but it wouldn't be a biological.
Right.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
birthing mother.
There are men and there are women.
Right.
Of all the babies I delivered, several thousand babies, they were either boys or girls. I mean, there were no transgender babies that I saw.
Right. How about, has there ever, not from you, but has there ever been a baby born with both genitals?
Hermaphrodites, yeah.
Okay, so that's a real
But
thing.
maybe one in a couple 100,000.
Yeah. That would be so strange.
We have
imagine this. Everything you look out there, look at the cranes and they're building these apartments. You look in the parking lot and these cars. Look at the Teslas. Look at the equipment in that room. This is a radio where we could go to half the country over an antenna out in Parker. Think of the TV. Think of this space station. Think of everything we've created. Everything. How long? And first of all, everything is from dirt. You guys realize that, right? Everything that we have right now comes from the earth. Everything. It's not like, a Tesla fell from space.
Right.
We literally built it from the ground up over thousands of years. How long would it take to start all over? If everything got wiped out and there was no blueprint how to build a radio tower, just nothing. All of a sudden, we're wiped out like the dinosaurs and we come back. It would take fucking forever again.
It would probably, assuming we had no memory.
The loss of the knowledge would be the
Even if we did have memory, just starting literally from dirt again or the ground would take forever.
Well, it would be a lot quicker because we would know about agriculture. That was the biggest change.
That was huge.
Once agriculture developed, civilizations took off because you had people who could do other things besides hunting and gathering.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you had agriculture, you had food for the population, you started having people doing things that were not necessary for survival, but improve the life of the
everything
people.
going on. No, agreed, 100%. It's just so strange thinking everything, with the exception of maybe an asteroid that had some precious metals, everything right from here. It's really amazing.
Well, from stardust. Technically, everything was from exploding stars.
And we turned it into this box.
Well, that's how we know.
It's nuts. This microphone. I always wonder, like, who's the first person that said, let's create glass and do in certain thicknesses to see if someone can see better. They didn't even know they couldn't see back then. You don't know. You think that's how you see.
Well, think about it. How many people wear glasses? And that's sort of an evolutionary bypass, because if we were still hunter-gatherers and you couldn't see...
All right, hold on. Make sure it doesn't say that Tom Martino, or not Tom Martino part, but the K-How.
You'd have to do something else, right?
All right, 303-713-8255. You've been really... We want to hear from you. That is what this show's about. That's it. Bad contractor, bad landlord, bad anybody. We're going to talk about a few updates in a few minutes. I'm going to go right back to the phones, though. We have Bradley O'Brien on. Very, very curious situation with John. His ex-wife tried to put the okey doke on him. The big okey doke. He sold her the house for only $100,000. She was supposed to pay $30,000, $30,000, $30,000, then $10,000. So over a 4-year period, the house would be paid off. She ends up paying $65,000. Okay? Then she goes to her sister, that's a notary. She forges a quitclaim deed with John's name on it. Her sister notarizes it. They file it with the county. Next thing you know, on paper at least, the sister and the ex-wife own the house. They go to court. Last week, the judge agrees with John. Totally fraudulent. Totally. You can't do that. I guess he proved his case. So eventually, next week, they'll get the decree from the judge. He will file that, according to our legal expert, Brad O'Brien, at olslaw.com, who I'm going to bring back up in a second, and that will get the deed, the title back in John's name. That'll get the house back in his name. But the curious part is what happens from here, because no one's got a contract on the $100,000 sale. So John doesn't have a copy of the contract, the buy-sell agreement that they both apparently signed way back when, and she doesn't have it. So John's basically pretty upset over this whole thing. She got a 2-year deferred sentence for trying to screw him, and then she's going to be able to get it off her record in 2 years, according to John. I don't know how true that is, but let's say it is. So in John's eyes, there's almost no punishment for what she did, trying to steal his house. Meantime, by the way, she's been leasing this out to other people over this term. So we were talking to Bradley O'Brien. Brad, what does he do from here? I mean, if there is no contract, as a legal matter, should he talk to an attorney like yourself? I mean, what would you do if you weren't an attorney that specialized in real estate if this was there? Because I can read between John's between the lines. John, you're basically saying, hey, I want to keep the $65,000, and that's going to be your punishment. And I'm not saying I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying you can do that. I don't know the legality part of it, but I mean, really, that's what you're thinking now, right?
I'm willing to go.
Go ahead, John. Quick.
$65,000. She's made about $31,000, so there's about $30,000 left. I'll give her half and just leave it at that.
What do you mean you'll give her half?
I'm willing to, for the $30,000 that I would still be in possession of. I'm willing to give her half of that and take back over my home.
I got you. So you would give her some money and you want the house back?
Correct.
See, but Brad, that's something that an attorney would have to hammer out. What do you think?
Yes, I would advise John to consult legal counsel in this very messy situation. Now, if he'd used the written contract for example, the standard real estate contract in Colorado, that does provide for what happens in this situation. If it were a purchase and sale contract, he might get to keep the earnest money. If it were an installment contract, he might get to keep the whole amount paid so far, based on the breach of the purchaser. But without a written contract, I wouldn't assume that he would get to keep all the money. So he may want to work this out through a private settlement agreement with her, in which they could negotiate whatever they want between themselves and split the money, for example. But if he wants to go to court, it would really be a court trying to construe this unwritten real estate contract that went bad halfway through it.
Hey, Brad, let me ask you something. I just thought of something. I really think he's holding the cards at this moment, meaning once the house is back in his name next week, as long as everything he said is correct, and really, he doesn't have to do anything. He could sit back and just wait for her to do something, right? I mean, what does he have to lose? What does he have to gain is probably the better question right now, talking to an attorney.
He probably should not spend that money. He should probably keep it in escrow or set
Fair enough.
aside for when he gets sued by her to return the money.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying right now, until she does something, there's not much he needs to do. Would you agree, or you're saying he's better off being proactive?
Well, there's no compelling need. I didn't hear that they were trying to sell the property or trying to refinance it where they would need to have it clear up the title immediately. So there's no immediate deadline, but they probably should take care of this sooner than later.
Hey, John, what is your angle on the house? Do you want to continue to rent it out? Do you want to sell it? What is your angle?
Since I'm back in Colorado, I can live there.
Oh.
At the time, I wasn't even living there. I've been traveling back and forth dealing with this court issue, so I've been back here since April.
Oh, man. What a crazy deal. I'm going to make sure Suzanne gives you Brad's phone number. In fact, I'll give it to you right now, everybody, 720-370-7388. And so you know, I mean, Brad has been with us forever, and this is exactly his wheelhouse. This is what he does. He's not a jack-of-all-trade attorney. He does real estate, and he does it better than anybody I've met. So you might consider talking to him if something comes. I'd probably wait for her to do something if I was going to live there, but if you were going to sell it or do anything with that title, I would definitely consult an attorney, because you don't want it to come back on you and all of a sudden you're getting punished. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So that's how I do it. God, this would be crazy if he did sell it. Hey, Brad, just out of curiosity, let's say he gets it back in his name, he finds a real estate attorney, or I'm sorry, a realtor, and sells this thing quick. Like, you know, sells it for whatever he can get really fast, puts the money in his pocket, literally goes through closing with a title company and everything. How would this work with title insurance if the wife then came back, or the ex-wife then came back and brought an action after it had already been sold?
Well, I understood that the court action from last week was going to restore the situation from before the fraudulent quitclaim deed, which was they were both co-owners of the property. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. John, is that correct? In other words,
no.
You were both owners? I thought you owned it.
I am. I'm the sole owner.
He's the sole owner.
I bought it by myself in February of 2015.
Okay, because I thought I heard that she signed it for herself and also then forged your signature. So
no, she forged my mom's name on the quitclaim on the notary, and she forged my name on the quitclaim deed.
Oh, okay.
I'm just wondering what title insurance would do. Title insurance title insurance wouldn't do anything here because nothing was filed, right?
The quitclaim deed was filed.
No. That's not what I'm saying, John. I'm asking Brad, in a scenario to where if you sold this house in a month and she didn't bring any kind of court action against it, and you were able to sell it because you're the only owner on there, simple as that, and then she came back after you, I understand she could get a judgment for $65,000 or get whatever. I was just curious if title insurance would have anything to do in a circumstance like this, Brad.
Well, he probably doesn't want to sell it right now because for title insurance, he'll have to sign an affidavit to the title company that there's nothing wrong with title. And then when it does turn out there's something wrong with title company's going to come against John for a breach of that affidavit.
Got it. So, John, you better be really careful because that's exactly what he said. You got to disclose anything. So if you did sell it and then she comes back on you even a year later or whatever the statute of limitations would be, if she comes back after you, the title insurance isn't going to do anything, and she might end up with a judgment against you, which would be ironic as hell in this scenario.
Okay.
So, but I would talk to Bradley. Honest to God, I would talk to him. I'm putting you both on hold. Bradley O'Brien, olslaw.com. You can find him on our referral list or referrallist.com. 720-370-7388. Crazy story, John. Absolutely crazy story. Talk about a bad ex-wife, man. That is just... Oh, I'd be so livid. And then she gets no jail time, nothing. That's the problem. You can try to rip people off, take their money, steal from them, and people don't go to jail over it. They don't go to jail. Hell, they don't even go to jail for some violent crimes anymore. All right, Adam and Larry, hold tight. We have a couple lines open, 303-713-8255, and I want to talk about that jet ski a little bit coming back, but probate question and a tax return. We'll go to Larry and ask him because we have our tax attorney in studio with Larson. Hold tight.
On the new podcast, Song Stories, artists share the lyrical inspiration behind their music and explore the process of creating an album. It's an intimate fly on the...
So if the judgment goes back, right, so then he's got title again. It doesn't matter. She could sue him again. It wouldn't be any issue with title at that point. She would just have... Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. Who do I got? Let me tell you about theartofgranite.com. Mitch Floria came out to our house. This is probably about 2 or 3 years ago and did the best job on new cabinets, and he did new countertops. We absolutely love what Mitch did. In fact, we loved what he did to the upstairs bathroom so much, we actually had him come back and do our laundry room. He did and the bathroom down there. So he's actually done 2 bathrooms, a laundry room, and part of our kitchen. The granite, the hard surfaces are unbelievable. The cabinets, the sinks. He can do it all, and he can give you a quote right over the phone. Go to theartofgranite.com. That's theartofgranite.com. Now the liquid loan, Kurt Rogers, he's the only one I know that sells his product. It's so cool. Most places have a 30-year or a 15-year or a 10-year mortgage. And if you look at your amortization schedule, you pay all that interest the first half of the loan. Well, this product you don't. You can pay just interest if you want, which is simple interest. In other words, you could use this as an interest-only loan. You can also offset the balance of it by up to 100%, never have a mortgage payment if you have money in the bank. The other thing you can do, which is amazing with this, they lock you in for 30 years. You have a full line of credit that you have access to. If your house is worth $500,000 and you only owe $200,000, you would have a line of credit for $250,000 that you could pay up and down, use it for whatever you want, high-interest credit cards. You pay simple interest, or you pay nothing if you have cash to offset it in the bank. And you can do that for up to 30 years. It's a great product. Even though rates are a little higher right now, it'll save you money every single month. 720-895-0500, 720-895-0500. Now I want to talk about a company I love. I love Genesis Total Exteriors, but Mark started a solar company, which is Genesis Solar. It is an incredible solar company, and they offer some of the best deals around. The deal that I love more than anything, you ready for this? You can get a 25-year, not can get, you do get a 25-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, and you get a 25-year production guarantee. If it doesn't produce as much electricity as they tell you, the day you buy the system, they'll cut you a check for the difference. No money down, no cash out of pocket ever. It's one of these things that can literally pay for itself. 303-474-4317. You can call right now or go to GenesisSolarCO.com, and within 24 hours, find out how much money solar can save you.
Did you know that you do not have to tear out your entire kitchen in order to have a brand new look? Really? Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Kitchens. You'll save big over total kitchen replacement with our unique quarter-inch cabinet resurfacing process. Choose from our solid...
I wouldn't do shit unless she did something.
But yeah, and if she came back and sued him, it wouldn't affect anything with property. It would be like, oh, you owe me this money.
No, she would just have a judgment.
Yeah, against him person, not against.
And she'd have to come out of pocket. She'd have to find an attorney. No one's doing this on contingency.
That's right.
It's $300 an hour all day long.
Yeah, I got this felony. I do all this bad stuff, but he still owes me this money. I think he should just sit tight. Sounds like she's gonna be short of cash anyway.
When you're listening, do you ever totally disagree with whatever Tom or myself are saying? I mean, totally. Like you're reading the call a lot different. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I don't know. It's funny how you guys can get frustrated because sometimes people call in and
they say nothing.
Can't spit it out.
Yeah, and they just keep going on the same
points. They lead you down a bunny hole.
Yeah, they keep going on the same points where it's like he was still stuck on this 30 thing, and it's like, well, that doesn't really matter. I don't know. And yeah, they just keep just get to the point.
You guys did a pretty good job of shutting that down, though. And not entirely rude. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. You know what? Nope.
Yeah.
Next caller.
My favorites are the scam calls. When people get the scam calls and then they call them back and mess with the scammers.
Yeah. We had one on one.
You're good at that.
Yeah.
There was one. Yay! The one guy that actually I believe him to. He started telling us the inside and outs, where he was, how he made his money. It was incredible. He even went into, it's about 1 out of 100 calls that will hook. I get 50% of whatever I bring in. The house gets the other 50% because they give us the call center and the Wi-Fi to make the calls in the rooms, and they give us all this. But he broke it down, and then it was like, well, don't you feel bad? You're ripping. He's like, no, I don't feel bad because honestly, I live in a hellhole. I go home. We're lucky to have electricity some nights. We have cell phones, but we don't have Wi-Fi in most of our homes and stuff like that. We live in a totally different world. So if I take $4,000 or $5,000 from, someone that I consider rich and way well off to do with me, it doesn't bother me at all. I can sleep at night.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that one was interesting. I remember that. And
it was true. I really believed it.
He's like, I, can't afford to feed my family, and this is.
I know you start feeling bad. Oh my God, you poor guy! You son of a bitch.
I mean, good luck to you.
All right, 303-713-8255. 303 Martino off the air. I just got an email. I'm going to read this and I'll go back to the phones. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on, I'm reading the wrong one. It didn't say blah, blah, blah. Here, I'm going to paraphrase, but it says, hey, been listening forever. Love you guys, but I got a bone. That is a bone to pick with Mark. I was listening to the show July 20th, and a caller named Herb, I kept calling him Herb. And I wasn't doing it on purpose. I just, for whatever reason, my brain kept going to Herb. That's why I remember this call so well. It was regarding some work a referral list member did, and I don't understand why Mark said that this guy had to pay his deductible to Genesis Roofing. I remember the call very well, so I want to tell you really quick. I think it's Patel. I think I'm saying that right. The contract they signed said that they would pay any money. Literally, I saw it, and I think I read it on air. The contract the caller signed said any money the insurance company pays for the roof and pays for supplemental repairs that are approved by the insurance company will directly go to Genesis. That's literally what he signed. That's almost every roofing contract around, unless if you negotiate a cash deal. That's what he agreed to. He agreed to, if they get more money for having to do something else to the roof, they get the money, not the caller that called up. The deductible, by the way, they waived, and they really didn't waive the deductible. What they did is they paid for the public adjuster. Genesis actually paid the public adjuster their 10%, which was Matt, who got this guy $33,000. And they got $33,000 for the roof. Genesis, if they get paid the last $3,000, is only going to end up with $30,000, which is what the initial deal was. It's a fair deal. In fact, it's better than fair. Genesis should have got $33,000. So that's it. I don't know how else to explain it. When you sign a roofing contract, I don't care if the roofing contract says $20,000 for a roof. If you really look at the contract, it's going to say $20,000 plus whatever else we can get from your insurance company. That's what it's going to say, whatever else work we can do. Once they tear the old roof off, they generally find other issues. They contract the adjuster or contact them, and then they end up getting a supplemental claim paid. If that goes to the homeowner, like in the case last week, the homeowner needs to pay the roofer. That's how it works. Now, if it's not an insurance claim and you make a deal with a roofer, make sure you read the contract. If you want a guaranteed replacement cost, make sure you're not signing something saying they can have supplemental claims. And you're probably not going to have a roofer do that because until they tear it off, they have no idea what the hell's under there. There could be anything. Now, Larry, what's your question on taxes?
Well, I always file my own income tax with paper, but the last 2 years, the processing has been taken up to a year and a half.
It's horrible.
For 2021, I explored the free file system, which now has a new system, which is called the fillable forms, where you're actually online filling out the actual form you would fill out if you were going by paper.
Hey, Larry or Steve, I've got a question on that. Is that literally from Uncle Sam, or is that something like a Quicken or, TurboTax? What are we talking about?
That's actually Uncle Sam's. That's actually IRS.
So IRS.gov now, or wherever it is, you can go on and do your own taxes almost like a Quicken or something?
Yeah, TurboTax hates it, but it's free.
Well, TurboTax doesn't know how to handle a specific system or specific item that I have on my taxes.
What is it, out of curiosity, since you sparked it?
Well, my employer pays as a retirement benefit some insurance, life insurance. And so part of that insurance premium that they pay is considered income to me. So they send me a W-2 which says that their Social Security and Medicare was not withheld, so I have to pay that on my own.
I get it.
TurboTax does not know how to handle that.
Okay, but even if they did, who cares if you can go to Uncle Sam and do it free?
That's right.
But what's your question?
This year I did it because it was the first year that's ever been offered. So I did it and I submitted it, and I get this message that says your return has been submitted, but you have to get an email saying it was actually accepted for processing, which I was supposed to get within 72 hours. I never got that. And so several weeks later, I started trying to call to find out what was going on. I finally, after hours and hours on hold, I finally talked to an agent, and they said there were 2 reasons that my return was not processed, and they gave me those 2 reasons, and neither one is valid.
Well, what were they? What were the reasons?
Okay, the first one is I did not check that someone can be, or that I can be claimed as a dependent by someone.
Okay.
So when I look at the actual instructions, it says someone else.
Well, okay, but who cares? Let's say they're right, you can't check it or whatever. What's the other thing?
That eliminates my ability to claim a standard deduction, because then somebody else can claim that standard deduction.
No, I'm not arguing the tax benefit there. I'm saying, okay, so they said that. What's the other thing?
They said that I failed to enter a PIN number down at the bottom section. The only time you enter a PIN number is if you give a third party access to your information.
So what was the outcome of it? Did they say refile and do it again, or what did they say? Now now you got to file by paper? What are the ramifications?
Well, no, they said I could do it over again, but I have to check those 2 boxes, one for myself and one for my wife, that says that someone can claim us as a deduction. Well, if I do that, I get no standard deduction.
But could they possibly mean that you're using yourself as a deduction? I mean, I understand generally that would be for a kid that maybe is in a divorce scenario or something. I mean, do you know anything about this?
Well, I mean, if he's a lot of times people will claim their parents as a deduction because they're supporting them or whatever it is. But
no, there's lots of.
I don't know if what the agent was telling him is being defined properly. You know, because usually you'll say, "Yeah, can anybody claim you as a dependent?" And you say, "No."
Here's all I'm asking, Larry. Right. If you check those boxes and don't change anything else, and the tax is still what the tax is, or the refund is still what the refund is, I don't know why that would make any difference, especially with the PIN number. Who cares? Put a PIN number in there. I mean, if you don't have a third party, no one will know it.
I had one assigned.
Yeah, if you don't have a PIN number, then you're not going to be able to file online through that system because that identifies who you are. That's like your signature. So you're going to need to get a PIN number if you want to file.
Okay, so I'll get a PIN number, but if I check that someone can claim me as a dependent, now there's a distinct difference between an exemption and a dependent.
Larry, we understand that, but let me ask Steve this. Just because I think he's reading into this wrong, but let's say he's not. Because we haven't had any other calls on this, Larry, and I guarantee a lot of people have done this. Now, being the first year, maybe not so. But if it says someone else may use me, and no one else does use him, it wouldn't make any difference, right? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, that question is asking, is somebody claiming you as a deduction?
That's not what he said. He said, may someone else.
Yeah. I'd be curious.
I'd love to. Do you have that question printed out? Can we look at it?
You mean on somebody else to claim me as a deduction?
No. I'm saying, do you have like a copy of what you filled out on that website? Do you have something we can look at to see exactly what you're saying?
I have my copy on my computer that I could forward to you.
Do that. Hold on. I want to actually look at it. Let's look at it. Yep. And even if we have to call up Accounting for Success or somebody, let's look at it and see how you answer it. Because you know what, Larry? I might owe you an apology, but I think you're missing something. But maybe not. I've never used it. I don't understand why they would only have that box. And if that box means someone else is claiming me, how could they force everybody to sign it? It's not logical. It doesn't make any sense, and we haven't got any calls. But let's get to the bottom of it, Larry, so you can get your damn tax return. Honestly, that's what we want to do. All right, 303-713-8255. We got a question about probate and capital gains coming up. Everybody hold tight.
KHOW Denver, 630 KHOW. And iHeartRadio.
Too aggressive. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. I have the feeling what he's misinterpreting that question you're saying.
Yeah, I think he's just...
Yeah, just click it. Nobody... Just say, can anybody claim you as a dependent?
Yes or no. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then you get it. He's like, well, I don't want to claim that because he's you know.
And I've always done my own taxes, and like, so the pin's pretty...
You need a pen.
You need a pin to sign, like...
So I don't get a pen.
Is there a restroom I can use?
Oh, yeah. Doc, would you show her where the ladies' room is? You know it's this side.
I don't know where it is. For the men's room,
just right, like you're leaving, but to the right before you go into the red room.
Oh, okay.
This one's important. These folks, it's a trusted family-owned team approach to basically your retirement. You're going to have tons of questions going into retirement. How about those old 401ks I had, jobs that were 20, 30 years ago? By the way, I also have a Roth. Should I take the Roth money out first because of taxes compared to the 401k? Can I do something with property? Can I convert a 401k into actually holding some real estate? What can I do? In fact, the other things that a lot of investment companies never think of that just do investments, not talk about retirement, is they don't talk about your taxes. What is the tax ramification from doing something this way? How about your health care? Let's say you still have through a job. Do I have to get onto Medicare? And how about your legacy? Where are we going to leave money? What do you want to leave to your kids and your spouse? The guys at Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, they have a 5-pillar approach to retirement. The best time to get with them is before you retire. But even if you've already made that move and now you're looking at all these different investments you've made over the years and what to do and when am I forced to take it, these guys can help you through everything. It's a comprehensive approach to your retirement. 970-663-3211, 970-663-3211. I was reading that email about roofers online. The one thing I'm going to say about roofers, I personally don't think you should ever pay a roofer up front, ever, 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 ever. I can't put it any other way. That's why I personally use Excel Roofing. Jay Bretz is the owner. They've been around about 25 years. It's a great company. It's one of the largest roofing companies in the state. And my goodness, you don't pay a cent, not one red cent, until you're content. Don't get fooled by those door knockers. You call Excel Roofing. Check them out at excelroofing.com. Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. They even have a place in Wyoming. excelroofing.com.
Hellsberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Got It Right. Tim needed an engagement ring. He did research, listened to hints from his fiance's friends.
She wants a lab-grown oval.
You guys flying down to New Orleans? Well, driving it. You're flying, right?
Sure. If you shop it right through Frontier, Frontier, there's one thing I hate about Frontier. And a lot of people, if you're listening online right now, it's very true though. A lot of times when they have one-way fare deals, and you might have to put in a promo code or you got to click on the link, and it's one way only.
Right.
If you really look, so we're going one way from here to New Orleans, and then we're going one way from New Orleans to here.
Right.
It was about $150 cheaper than just getting round trip.
Really?
Same fucking flights. So you got it. It's almost like Kohl's. You ever walk into a Kohl's?
I've never been in one.
Oh my God. I can't even shop there because I have no idea how the rules work. They have like Kohl's dollars. They have like Tuesdays where shit's like half price. It's just the oddest way of ever shopping. If you don't know exactly what's going on, you pay more than retail. I mean, it's really nuts.
I know you ever went to a store. I thought you did everything online.
I don't.
I may be the only person in Denver that's never bought anything online.
Oh, really?
The only thing I've ever bought online are tickets either to a show or airline tickets. I've never purchased an item online.
Like nothing?
You goes by without being purchased.
Okay, what'd you get your son for the wedding? Oh, you just wrote a check.
I wrote a check.
Because a lot of the weddings we go to now are all like,
they have
Amazon.
registries.
But it's like Amazon.
Right. Yeah,
or actually, they just want cash nowadays.
Yeah, but I just wrote him a check.
I'll just be sitting there, oh, I need that. It's coming tomorrow. Sometimes it comes the same damn day.
The thing I buy is golf balls. I just go to a PGA Superstore.
There you go. Just reorder.
On the way to the golf course.
I actually went to Lowe's the other day. And I was like, I haven't gone to a hardware store in so long. It's like,
I do end
get
up
what
at
you
hardware
need.
stores.
Yeah. So I was like, all right.
I only go, well, that's not true. Last time I was at a Lowe's or Home Depot, I actually ordered it online to pick up there.
Oh, really? Oh, from the store. Right.
And it's a battery. It's pretty cool, man. It's a battery-powered shovel for snow. So it's about this big, and there's this rubber thing, and the rubber thing goes like this, and it shoots snow about 3 feet.
So like a snowblower.
It is, but it's battery-operated, and you hold it like this, like a groove or something.
So is it like rechargeable?
It's rechargeable, and it uses the same battery as my lawnmower, so they're interchangeable.
That's cool.
Okay.
I need that.
They're cool.
Ryobi makes that or something?
That's exactly who makes it. And it's good for like walkways and porches.
Like deck or something.
It's I'd say 7, 8 inches maximum. After that, it ain't moving.
Yeah. So you got to be on top of it.
You got to stay on top of it. But you're only using it. I mean, I got a tractor for my regular stuff.
I also have a 12-year-old, so.
My brother lives in my brother lives in Evergreen, and they got like 3 decks.
I thought you were going to say 3 kids.
That's right.
Yeah, no, 3 dads, but my nephew goes out there shoveling. Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah.
All right, 303-713-8255. By the way, this hour brought to you by Panacea. Real CBD that works. I love these guys. They're seed to sale. I don't know how else to put it. They control the entire product from the time it goes into the ground to the time it ships to your house, including the packaging. If it says something on the bottle, that's exactly what it is. If you go to realcbdthatworks.com, realcbdthatworks.com, find what product you want. You can call and ask them questions, too. They're great. By the way, they're in DIA and different convenience stores. They're a big company, man. They're really good at what they do. But put in promo code TOM, you'll save 30%. You're not going to beat that. Their prices are great, too. RealCBDThatWorks.com. All right, 303-713-8255. We were talking over the break, then I'm going to go to Larry. Very interesting, or I'm sorry, tax derailed for invalid reasons. Oh, we left off with Larry. Larry, where are we going to go with that? He was going to send over that email. Hey, Larry, you're going to forward that to Suzanne, right?
Yeah, I need an email address.
All right, hold on. Suzanne's going to pick up and get it. Suzanne, he needs an email to send us something to look at, that tax form. We were talking on break, and it's pretty amazing the different things really going on with the airlines right now. It's crazy. If you didn't hear first hour, Tom actually got he got screwed, man. He used Southwest. They flew out to, I always want to say New England, but it wasn't New England. Where was it?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. He flies to Rhode Island, and they cancel the flight. Just outright cancel it. I'd be so upset. What does a family afford? Tom's got, Tom and his wife have money to where, they didn't want to. They ended up basically staying at the airport for a while, a long time, and then instead of a direct flight back, they end up, flying somewhere that makes no sense, Orlando, then flying back here. They don't land till 4 or 5 a.m. It just ruins the whole deal. But what does a family of 4 do? They fly to Disneyland from wherever. They save up money to go on a vacation. They find out that Southwest cancels their flight back, and there's not another one for a couple days. Honest to God, what do? You call around, and you find other airline tickets last minute. That's going to be, $500 to $1,000 a pop. They might not have that money. How about the hotel? How about food? I don't even know how young couples now travel. I'd be terrified. They're going to cancel.
Doesn't the airline reimburse them? There was a thing on Facebook the other day where I think it was Delta paid like $12,000 for people to give up their seats. I
saw that. Back in the day, Suzanne and I did that once. I don't even remember where we were going. But when it was like $100, it didn't make any, it didn't matter. But they got up around $500. Back when we were in our 20s, we're like, cha-ching, that'll work. And we did do that once. But I haven't seen that recently, Doc. I did see that on TV, though. They offered like $12K. I'd take it. What would yours be? If it was going to make your life miserable in an airport for 24 hours and then a very long flight home, stopping in Philadelphia or Detroit, what's that dollar amount, guys?
Well, it also depends on why you're flying. If I'm just going to Vegas for the weekend, it wouldn't take the same thing as if you had, let's say, a wedding or a funeral where you had to be somewhere.
No, I'm not talking coming back. Forget about even being there. What's your dollar amount?
Oh, probably $2,500.
Yeah, how about you, Steve?
Well, I got 3 young kids, so I got stuck coming back this summer from Hawaii. This problems you want to have, right? Yeah, I got stuck coming back from Hawaii on a red eye in LA for 7 hours with me and 3 kids.
That's crazy.
And me with a bunch of beer and a ukulele. So I think my wife would have paid a lot of money to just get on that flight. So nobody in that terminal enjoyed my ukulele.
You know what Southwest did to me? Coming back from Hawaii, we flew from Honolulu to Phoenix to Denver.
I've always flown direct.
Well, this is a long time ago. And when we got on the flight in Honolulu, for some reason, they kept our boarding pass. So when we got to Phoenix, they wouldn't let us back on the Phoenix to Denver flight, even though our luggage was checked in from Hawaii to Denver.
That sucks.
We had to buy 3 tickets, and it took us about 4 months to get reimbursed.
Hey, Rain Hayes, she's our common woman. By the way, you want to come in for the show, just email Suzanne at help@troubleshooter.com, and we will get you in to sit in with the show. It's a lot of fun if you've never been in. I mean, really, we just started doing this again, but that's help@troubleshooter.com. What's your dollar amount? So you're headed back, you got work, let's say it's a Sunday, you got work coming up, you've got whatever. Everybody has things going on. Is there a certain dollar amount that entices you at some point? I was stuck in the Philadelphia airport one time for like 10 hours. I would have paid anything in hindsight. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Rain?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the situation. If you're coming back and you had to be back for work, but I mean, if it was like coming back from a weekend in Vegas and I lost maybe, $1,000, like
that's a good point.
Yeah.
In Vegas, there's a lot of flights too. I mean, Vegas, especially to Colorado, there's a ton of flights. All right, Albert, what's going on with you? By the way, any tax questions you have whatsoever, one of the voices you're hearing is Steve Sizik with Larson Tax Relief. And I've got some questions for you. I do want to ask you after this call about something the IRS has been doing lately, but you shed a little light on it. In fact, it's got to do with your passport, but we'll go to that in a second. Albert, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, Mark. Thank you for getting my call.
What's happening?
Not much. I bought a house in 2006, and I lived in there about 12 years, and then I rented it out, and I heard I needed to go back to making my primary for 2 years so I could get out of capital gains. Is that true?
Well, it's general. I think it's 2 out of the last 5 years. So
in the last 12 that I was there, or no?
Well, hold on a second. You bought it in 06. When did you start renting it?
2018.
In 2018. So in the last 5 years, you've only been there 1 year. Would that be correct?
No, I haven't moved back yet. So
yeah, but you were there in 17, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, so you were there 1 out of the last 5 years. I mean, am I missing something? Is that what he's saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
so I would say you're probably your best bet. Are your tenants out? Can you move back in?
Yes, in August.
So you move back in August. I would actually stay there for, I'm trying to think if 17 would count. That's where I'm getting a little lost here. Let's say 17 counts. I mean,
it has to be 2 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah, I know. It's 2 out of the last 5, but if he was there 17, does that count as of right now, or is it 18? I think 17 would count. So if you were there 17, and then you move back in there this August, and you're there for another, almost about a year, basically whatever makes 2 years, then you're going to save a ton of money. I mean, is that feasible, or do you got to sell it?
No, that's what I'm. And how much, Mark? Do you know how much? Do I still have to pay taxes on the sale, or am I? Because it's my primary, I don't have to pay no capital gains at all.
No, you're missing it, man. It's not considered your primary for tax purposes if you haven't lived there if you haven't lived there 2 years out of the last 5. Do you understand that part? You do not qualify for that from what you're telling me. Now, if you move back in there now, you can count 17, but you have to ask an accountant. That part I'm not sure about, but I think for argument's sake right now, that would count as 1 year, and then 23 would be your second year. Then you would get your normal deductions. Does that mean you pay taxes? No. I don't know the answer to that. How much equity do you have in it? You have an exemption amount. It means you could take the exemption amount for the primary residence, but let's say you bought that house for $300,000 and now it's worth $1 million. The exempt part is not going to be $700,000. It's going to be whatever the exemption is for the year you sell it. Probably somewhere around 170, or if you're married, 350. Whatever it happens to be.
It's 250. Well, 500.
Whatever it happens to be is what it's going to be. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know what exemption means. Could you explain?
What the exemption means? It means that the government gives you an exemption for your primary residence. The reason they do that is they want people to own homes in this country. They want people to be homeowners. It just makes for a better society, I guess. So therefore, to entice you to do that, they give you an exemption when you sell a house and make money on it, so you go buy another house. You don't have to pay taxes on that exempt amount.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah, so, I mean, Albert, are you planning on moving back in there? Really, what I'd rather do is just help you make that decision.
Yes, I'm moving back in August, and I made 300,000. I'm going to retire in 2 years, and I'm going to make about 300,000 in earnings.
I understand. Now, so there's a couple things there. One, the exemption is only going to be like, what is it, Doc, for a single, 125?
$250,500 for a married couple.
So you'll have a $250,000 exemption. So let's say you qualify the 2 out of 5 years, and you do make $300,000 on it. You would not pay taxes on the $250,000. You would on the $50,000, just capital gains long term. It's not that much money, but I am sure you have done improvements to that house to increase the basis for all those years as well. So you shouldn't be paying taxes on any of that $300,000, but you want to make sure that you go to the right accountant or actually a decent accountant in order to do that when that time comes. I have to break, man. Hold on. If you have another question, Albert, I'll ask you after this, but I am coming up against the hour. Okay, we do have a couple lines open. 303-MARTINO, 303-713-8255. We're going to look at that email from Larry as well. Hold tight.
If he moves back in 22, it won't count.
No, but he'd stay there for a year, and he should.
No, because 17, 18, 19, 20.
Doc, are you sure about that? 17 doesn't count out of the last 5 years?
Well, count it up. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Okay.
Well, it's look back period, so when you file. So if he files in 2023, they look back 5 years from 2023.
It won't count.
Right, so 17 wouldn't be included, so you'd have to stay there 2 years.
Right.
Up until the point when he files his return.
Exactly.
And then, is it only just a one? Do you have to be there a full year?
Full 2 years.
No, I'm saying, okay.
Partial?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, if you did 6 months, and then you do it a year, and then you do 6 months, that'd be 2 full years. So it's not like a calendar year, it's the actual timeline. I can't see the right side of this form that he sent us, unfortunately.
All right, hold on, guys.
Load it now.
My accident lawyer, John Fuller, can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co. You know why I chose John? I mean, I've known him for years, but I've known a lot of attorneys, personal injury attorneys, and I mean a lot. But when Suzanne and I got T-boned and every airbag went off and her nose was broke and we had injuries and everything was just absolutely incredible and horrible and every word you can assign to it. You know who I did call? I called John Fuller. And he ended up on that particular accident getting the policy maximums for us, which there was no better way to do it. No one else could have done any better. But what I really loved and what I learned about using John is that I always dealt with John. If I had a question about the case, I'd call up and talk to John. These big law firms, you think you ever get to talk to the strong arm well, I didn't want to say that. Talk to whoever's running the show. Generally, you don't. I mean, that's just the way it is. They're kind of like a mill. They have a lot of people coming in and out. They've got lots of attorneys. There was one attorney group that just lost 6 employees, 6 attorneys a couple weeks ago. You want a boutique one. You want John. You want someone that can do the best possible for you and at the same time be there to actually hold your hand and take you through the case. That's John Fuller, Fuller Law, 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. Put that in your phone, please, or check him out at myaccidentlawyer.co. Now, we've been talking all day about the liquid loan. It's a first mortgage line of credit on your house. You can refinance your house into it. You pay simple interest. It's not all that interest front-loaded like on your current mortgage. And on top of that, you have whatever that line of credit is, access for up to 30 years. For 30 years, you can get to that home equity. So if that home equity money is locked up right now, there's no reason to go get a second. I mean, a second you're going to be making payments on whether you use it or not. What you really want to do is look at a first line of credit, which is theliquidloan.com, by the way. Kurt Rogers will walk you through it. In fact, if you send him whatever information you have on your current loan, he's going to show you how much money you can save right now, and I don't care what interest rates are. I'm telling you, this product will save you money right now, right off the bat, and he'll prove it to you. There's no hoax about it. overseas, over in England and over in the UK, this is more common than anything else. The U.S. is about the only place we do these crazy 30-year and 15-year mortgages where the front-loaded interest. 720-895-0500. Call up Kurt right now. He can do a webinar. You can go to his office, talk to him on the phone. It doesn't hurt. You can save money instantly. 720-895-0500.
Hello, this is Cam Cambier from Centennial Capital Partners. Considering a Roth conversion?
Guaranteed. Steve, did you see that thing?
Yeah, I think he doesn't need to click that box. I think the patient was giving him some bad information.
Where is it? Standard deduction?
Yeah. So it doesn't have a no, so you wouldn't click either one of those. He's right. I think what he really needs is a pen, and that thing will go through no problem.
Needs is a what?
Just a PIN number to sign the return.
Okay. You don't think it has any?
I wouldn't have him click it. There should be a no box here. I don't see a no box on this image he sent us. Can someone claim you as a dependent, your spouse dependent, spouse itemized? No, there's none of those. And so if there's no, you don't click it at all. I think he's right there.
Yeah, but so where you're thinking is the IRS, whoever he talked to, just gave bad advice.
Yeah, I think that was just
I think.
Because you wouldn't. He's right. You wouldn't. I don't.
All right, this is the 800th phone call I've taken today. Just check the box.
Download the free Upside app now.
I get bad information probably 50% of the time. I always get.
Yeah, we're going to go back to him. I am going to use it wisely. I'd go to Disneyland. Did you see that fight at Disneyland between the two families?
Yeah.
You saw it?
Yes.
Dude, it was an all-out brawl. And it wasn't like 2 or 3 people. It was like 2 families of like 15.
It was just like perfect television.
It was an outright brawl.
Get after it. My wife wants to go to Disneyland. I don't want to go. I'm like, look what happened.
How old are your kids?
Magic Kingdom. 8, 10, and 12.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
God.
Your ass will end up there.
I don't want to. Anywhere.
What was the fight over?
I have no idea.
Probably a wine or something.
It was like family reunion.
It was just, like, yeah, it was. Brawl is a generous. I mean, that was.
It was. What do they call that? The knuckles.
Beer.
What is that called? Damn it, I can't think of it. Fisticuffs.
Blood sport over.
Hey, Paul, the waterman, the best for less. And I am not kidding. Listen to this. 12 different Colorado districts. Water districts are saying there is poisonous or forever chemicals. Get a free water test. I am not kidding. Call up Paul right now. It's 100% free. That's it. He'll give you the honest results. 303-862-5554. We got a lot going on. Albert, Gary, Larry, we got that paperwork. You guys hold tight. We'll be right back. Minutes of commercials, come back, do another commercial, do another commercial, and then go to break for more commercials.
You have to assume they're listening anyway.
They're loving me now.
That used to drive me crazy when I was just a listener.
Gotta keep the lights on, man.
We have more commercials than most shows by far. Yeah. Oh my God, we're in HD. I mean, they just keep them coming.
Yeah.
If you listen to most shows, live shows, you will hear during the break maybe 1, possibly 2 live reads. Possibly. Generally, you hear 1. We can have 3, 4 sometimes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, once again.
And the money just keeps
That's
rolling.
right. Yeah, it's like, from you want to have. And you guys are so good at lap reads, you know, that's what it is. Right? God. Got to record those.
No, you got to do them live. There's, oh yes, definitely.
Throw in the,
because you can pivot constantly.
Yeah, you can
keep them interested.
The current event to make it more relevant.
You can yell. I was so mad at a call Friday. I was doing a commercial for, I don't remember who it was, and I was still so pissed over this jet ski place. And I said, yeah, these guys will always take care of you. Not like that jet ski place we were just talking about. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm sure they'll love. I'm sure that advertiser will love that.
I'm sure absolutely they will. Yeah, give it some relevancy.
So okay, here's a jet ski one. Guy buys a jet ski. He can barely speak English, man. He buys it, finances it. I think his wife technically signs for it, maybe just for the financing. I don't know. But they bring it out to the water the first time. They bought it August 8th. So whatever that, or July 8th. What are we in now?
July.
Yeah, July 8th. No. Not even a month ago. So they bring it out to either Chatfield or wherever they held. First time out. 4 hours later, his daughter's on it and falls off of it. I have fallen off a jet ski and water bike 100 times. You fall off. Generally, they go in a circle, and then you grab it and you're back on. I mean, there's nothing.
They should have a kill switch, right?
Well, they have a kill switch that brings the idle down.
No, on your wrist.
Yeah, but it doesn't kill it.
Oh, I thought it did.
No, fuck no, because if it killed it, it could be flying out that way. It's not like there's brakes on it. It'll make it so the throttle goes almost to an idle.
Yeah.
But the reason they want to keep running is that it'll do circles.
Okay.
So it'll come to you. In other words,
right.
You definitely don't want it to keep going. Even if the engine's off, the tide could take it away. You'll never get it. So after 4 hours, a girl falls off.
A wave knocked her off, right?
Whatever, I don't know. She falls off.
A wave knocked her over.
It starts sinking.
Oh boy.
It fucking starts sinking. A boat is there, thank God, gets the two kids on, teenagers, whatever, gets them on, brings them back to shore, and then the park ranger or whoever it is goes out and tows the jet ski back. So it took watering. So he brings it back, and they said, well, you know, the manufacturer is going to go ahead and pay for the parts, but you got to pay us $2,000 in labor. And it's like, it's a fucking jet ski. The one thing I would want out of a jet ski is for it to float and not sink. So they're saying, well, they didn't undo these, what they call them,
plugs.
The plugs in the back. Just like a boat, there's these plugs, I guess.
Okay.
So here's the different arguments.
Water.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the arguments. When you get somewhere like a reservoir, not like the ocean, they could care less, but in a reservoir, they want you to undo the plugs before you put it in the water to make sure there's no water in there.
Right.
Because if there is water in there, it could be, yeah, and there's some kind of contaminant Jeff Vick was talking about. It's some kind of species they're looking for.
Snail or something.
Yeah, so they said the reason this thing did is when he put the plugs back in after pulling them out, he must have not put them in right. But he was on the water for 4 hours with no problem.
Yeah.
The only time the problem came up is when the kid fell off. So, but they're saying they'll pay for the parts, but not the labor. Or actually, they're saying the manufacturer, Kawasaki, will.
Huh.
And I think that's just, I think something's wrong with the whole situation.
Yeah.
Why would Kawasaki pay for the parts if it's not covered under warranty?
Well, right.
I don't know why. And then $2,000 in labor?
That's insane.
What the hell are they doing to it?
Jet ski probably only cost $4, right?
No, it was like 17. Well, that's the other thing. So his whole thing was $30,000.
What? For a jet ski?
Google what happened.
Must be a Tesla's jet ski.
Yeah, it's got full HD radio, blasting. They got like those ski boats with the big old speakers. What happens when you don't put plugs?
Yeah, but in the jet ski,
it shouldn't say. Huh.
What's it say? It'll say
jet ski's drain plugs are one of the more important components, and forgetting to put them in can cause the jet ski to sink.
Does it say how long? I'd be curious with that. There's probably too many factors.
It's underneath the jet ski, so you'd think it would fill up pretty quick unless they were moving.
See, I envision them on the back. But the two things I just don't dig is why
they're on the very back of the.
Why would
the water?
Why would the manufacturers pay for the parts, and then labor of $2,000? Are they putting it? Is the whole engine fried? I mean, $2,000.
In all cases, the jet ski will sink if you forget to put the plugs. Good news is some jet skis will sink slower than others. So over a period of time, it probably just filled up, and after 4 hours, it was just enough.
Well, he's saying when they pulled it out, when it got back, the plug was in it.
Well, then that makes no sense.
Well, I know.
Yamaha and Kawasaki will still have old school drain plugs that allow full water flow to enter both ways. So leaving.
That's what he has is a Kawasaki.
Sure, sink the jet ski.
Are they under or on the back? Because we had someone tell us they're on the back.
There's an image here if you want. It's just right here. In the back. See that? That's the engine, and there's the plug.
Got it.
So it looks like this other company will see you has like a stop valve, like you're blowing up like a. Like anything, it has like a little stop valve so it can go in but not out. It says that you can fix it by spraying some WD-40 in there.
What the hell are you watching, Doc?
It's...
My God, man.
It's Facebook.
Facebook that.
They have some of the
He got kicked off of Match.com.
Oh,
I was ghosted.
Wasn't me.
The whole website ghosted?
Wasn't me.
I'm not so sure the whole website could ghost you.
They kicked his ass off. Said, hit the bricks, Doc.
You got banned like you.
And the thing is, they won't tell you why. You have to get a subpoena.
Yeah. They won't tell you why.
I could read Google common reasons why people get kicked off the Match if you want to go there.
All right, 303-713-8255. The only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. That's it. Try to make your life a little bit better. I'll tell you the one call we haven't got today. I bet folks in this room can't guess it. Actually, I know Suzanne can.
I can.
I know B-Large probably could. Doc could guess it in a heartbeat. The one call that we've gotten almost every day, and we still got 2 hours to go, so it'll probably come in, is I am getting evicted. The I am getting evicted call. Forever we didn't get those, and now we're getting them left and right, and they're horrible. Sometimes we can step in and help, but a lot of times there's not much anybody can do. People better realize they better show up for that court date. Well, no matter what, they better show up.
We didn't get them for a while because you couldn't be evicted.
Yeah, for like 18 months. We had landlords that were owed. I had a neighbor that was owed, neighbor Dave was owed about $50,000. A little over I think it was $3,300 a month rent. They quit paying rent the second the CDC, who we later found out had no power to do so, but it was too late. God, it was crazy, $48,000. And then when it was lifted, as soon as he started going through the eviction process, they bolted. They were gone. He ended up getting stuck. In fact, he was stuck so bad on that, he sold the house. He said, I'll never do it again. I will never do it again. And what really burned him is the couple was still working. They owned a carpet cleaning company, and they were still out hustling, making money. They were just putting it in their own pocket while they're living at his place for free. But we get those calls every day. Now, we did get this email. Who was this from here, Suzanne? I don't see a name on it.
That's for Larry on line 4.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right, 2017, but that's why I kept saying, I don't know what the emailer's name was. It's 2 out of the last 5 years. The bottom line is, I wasn't counting 17 correctly. If he lived there in 18, he could do 18. But
his name is Dave. Mark, yeah. That was on the capital gains sort of line 1.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to finish up with Albert. So, Albert, listen, you basically got to live there 2 years now because 17 does not count. And what we're talking about, if you just tuned in, he was renting his house out for the last 12 years. In order to get the deduction when you sell it as a primary residence, which is $250,000 right now, according to Doc, you have to live there 2 out of the last 5 years. He did live there in 17, then he started renting it out again. So the bottom line is, Albert, you've got to live there 2 years before you can take advantage of that deduction. But Suzanne said you had another question. What is that?
No, that's what it was, that you recommended an accounting, but if you're telling me there's 2 years, that's fine then.
Yeah, I'm not good at math. You can ask Suzanne. I mean, you know, I'm sitting here counting 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, that is 5 years. Yes. For some reason in my head, 17 to 22 was proper at the time, but it's not. But that's why I told you, here's a real deal, man. Here's all it comes down to. 2 out of the last 5 years. That's what matters. So when you live there 2 out of the last 5 years, you'll get that $250,000 deduction. But a lot of people, even if you make equity, and right now, if you're selling a house you've been in for a while and you haven't tapped into that equity, you probably have a lot more than that deduction amount. So a couple gets to do $500,000, but there's a ton of people that have over $500,000. Don't forget your basis. That's every nickel you put into that house. Now, when I say that, I'm talking things like furnaces, air conditioning, roofing. Maybe you added on an addition. You can't say, hey, you know, all those furnace filters.
Right.
We're not talking everyday maintenance. We're talking different things. But if I think of what I have put in my property just in 7 years, we've probably added our basis over $250,000 because we built a garage and other stuff like that. So don't forget the basis. You should be able to, if you've been there 15, 20 years, think of all the money you put into that house when you sell it, so you up the basis. Then you start looking at your other deductions. You follow me? Like the exemption.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Albert.
I appreciate your time.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. 303-713-8255. And for that emailer who graciously pointed out, my math don't work. All right, 303-713-8255. By the way, Common Woman, Rain Hayes, in studio with us. And Steve Sizik, Larson Tax Relief. God, you guys have been on our referral list a long time. Real quick, then we're going to go to Gary and Larry. By the way, 2 lines open, 303-Martino, 303-713-8255. Gary and Larry reminds me of, this is my brother Larry. No, wait, is it Larry?
It's Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
Daryl. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. My name's Larry. So I love that show. What was that, Newhart? My God, Newhart had... Bob Newhart was on the air forever. In fact, isn't he still alive? Doc, he's like your generation. You must know.
He hasn't called me this week, so I don't know.
I think he's still alive. I don't know. But 303 Martino, ripped off, taken advantage of, bad landlord. Any advice you have, tax advice is great for today. Because Steed Civics, and especially if you owe the IRS money. Speaking of that, you explained something to me last hour, Steve, that I did not know. I hear on commercials that the IRS can actually lock up your passport. And to me, that sounded extremely frightening, because if you owe the IRS money and you decide to go on vacation, like you're at the airport and they're like, you ain't getting on the plane. Or even worse, you're like in Mexico or overseas somewhere in Italy, and you go to come home, and they're like, because if I was the IRS and I was trying to collect, that's what I'd do. I'd let them leave the country, then I'd put the screws to them to pay up in order to get back in the country, and honestly, that's what I thought that was all about. Explain when, how, and what the IRS can do when it comes to your passport.
Yeah, it's not as extreme. Although you're right, that money would start flowing in pretty quick.
Oh, I bet you'd find money.
All of a sudden, I got cash for the $100,000 somehow, right?
You go over to help build a school in Afghanistan.
Yeah. So you'll get the State Department notice, and it doesn't really give you a whole lot of information other than that they're affecting your passport. What that actually does, and what they will effectively do, is they say you cannot renew your passport, and you cannot get a new passport with that State Department hold. But if you've got an existing passport, which are good for 10 years,
it's valid.
It's not going to affect your ability to leave the country.
So it is valid.
It is.
Okay. It doesn't. I tell you, and those commercials, and that's the problem with your industry. They literally they use massive scare campaigns like that, and that wasn't a commercial from you guys at Larson. You guys are straight up. You know, we always say you're nationwide, but it's so cool to have you right here. But you guys help people in every freaking state there is. But you guys don't use those tactics. I'm not going to say the person's name I'm thinking about, but everybody's heard the commercials. It's fear this. They might contact the Justice Department, it says. Like, they almost make it sound like if you owe taxes, the Gestapo's going to show up at your house, ransack it, and throw you in jail. That's just not it.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you have equity in that house and you own it, what can they do?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that, well, going back to those taxes, I mean, and this is a personal opinion, but you typically don't want to hire somebody because you're scared.
No.
You want to hire somebody because you're confident they can help you, right? So that's what
Good
Larson
point.
does, and that's what I do, and that's how we've been fine, and we're going to continue to be fine with as far as helping out clients that way.
Is it getting worse right now, just thinking of the economy? I was talking during the break, and when I came back in, the one call we haven't got today that we're getting every single day are people getting evicted from apartments and stuff. And people, I think bankruptcies are on the uptick. I know the housing market slowed down. I know a lot of people, I think it's the highest credit card debt in the history of our country right now. So a lot of these things start adding up. Fuel for your business. I mean, are you seeing that uptick yet? Or do you think this is going to be in the next 6 months? If you had to gauge where the industry is at, where are you at?
I would say we're kind of on the top of the hill when what people that were calling us because they made too much money and they didn't pay their taxes. We're going to get to the point with the economy going down, but that's a year out, right? Because they don't file their tax returns, they don't pay. The IRS is so far behind. Someone doesn't pay their payroll taxes today, they won't hear about it from the IRS for 6 months.
For 6 months.
Yeah, so we'll hear about that, maybe into next year. So this downswing is going to be a different, it's just an ebb and a flow of, the clients that come to us.
I'm going to take this call, but I want you to think about this question. The average person that calls you just said something interesting. Is your average client, don't answer right now, is your average client people that had a really good year or multiple years, they had no idea how much taxes they really got to pay, and then they ended up owing Uncle Sam, even though they had a good year, but they spent all the money. Now, Larry, what is going on with you, Larry? Then Gary's got a DIA security issue. But, Larry, real quick, tell me what's going on so we can think about it over the break.
Larry, or Mark, you took his call already. I emailed you guys the paperwork.
We saw your paperwork, Larry. Steve, hold on, Larry. So Larry called in and he filed his tax return at irs.gov or through the federal government, which I didn't even know you could do electronically. Last year, or 21 taxes were the first year you could do it, but they said they kicked it back and they wouldn't accept it, but he sent it over and Steve looked at it, and we'll tell you what's going on. Then, Gary, you hold tight on that Frontier airline issue, DIA security. My God, man, what happened there?
Oh, wow. God bless that guy. Showed a good life.
But he had 2 shows that were on for a long time.
Yeah. Before my time, but I'm aware of it.
How old are you, Steve?
41.
Young dog.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like that anymore. Birthday was actually 16.
I want to tell you about Empower Reverse Mortgage. Guys at Empower, they give you the straight skinny. Maybe you've been thinking of a reverse mortgage. You don't want to have to make that payment every month, or maybe you've built up enough equity in that house you want to use some of that money to possibly send or help your grandkids in college, or just go out traveling, or maybe, just buy a new car. Whatever you want to do with the money, that equity is yours. You deserve to use it however you deem fit. Call up Mark Massey. He'll give you all the good, the bad, the ugly about reverse mortgages. He'll tell you if it's right for you. He'll tell you what kind of line of credit you can get. Did you know this? You can also buy a house with a reverse mortgage, and you'll never have to make a payment again to a mortgage company, and you can also refinance into a reverse mortgage. Call Mark Massey, 720-500-7719, 720-500-7719 for all the information on a reverse mortgage. Here is an attorney I hope you never need. Some attorneys I hope you do need, like if you're buying a new house and want to have someone look over a contract. But one attorney I don't want you to ever have to call, but a lot of people will, is Joseph A. Lazera. He's a criminal defense attorney. Maybe you found yourself drinking a little too much at a restaurant. You got hit with a DUI on the way home. Hey, there's 2 things. One, you either did it or you didn't. But either way, you need an attorney to either get you the best deal possible, which means, lower fines, no jail time, whatever it means in that case, or you need someone that'll fight for you because you were told you did and you didn't actually do it. That's Joseph A. Lazara. This number you need to put in your phone right now, because when you do get hit with a criminal charge and possibly you're in jail or possibly with just a court date ahead, you need advice, you need to talk to someone, you need someone like Joseph A. Lazara. 303-429-6200, 303-429-6200, or you can find them at referralist.com. Century RV, these guys are absolutely unbelievable. They have so much inventory right now of travel trailers. In fact, you get a travel trailer for less than $5 a day. But they've got Cougar fifth wheels. They're the largest Cougar dealer in the United States, and they're right here in Colorado. When Suzanne and I were shopping around for a Class A, we looked in Texas. They got huge places down there. We looked on the East Coast. We looked in California, Arizona. You know where we ended up buying? Right here in Colorado at Century RV. The best pricing, the best financing, travel trailers under $5 a day. If you haven't done it with the kids, just get into it. It's very cheap to get into. You're going to love it. The KOAs around town are absolutely beautiful. You just got to check it out if you haven't. CenturyRV.com. That's CenturyRV.com.
Did you know that you do not have to tear out your entire kitchen in order to have a brand new look? Really? Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Kitchens. You'll save big over total kitchen replacement with our unique quarter-inch cabinet resurfacing process.
With my flight being canceled, I just don't know how I deal with it. Tom actually in his later years is very good at dealing with stuff. You wouldn't think so sometimes, but he's very adult. I lack that adultness sometimes.
But he's turning into a hypochondriac.
He's always, but it's getting worse.
He's got those
issues. I do too. I know what he means though. When it comes to your own health, it's scary, Doc.
I don't know. I just accept the aches and pains as far as getting older. I don't even worry about it.
I did my first colonoscopy, dude. So I turned 50.
There you go. God bless you.
They fuck it up. What? They fuck it up. I'm bleeding like you wouldn't believe. So I got to go back to the hospital the next day for my second colonoscopy in 2 days. And then the kicker is I get a bill.
Come on.
And I owe my share's $2,500 for the fucking hospital. It was $16K.
Oh, no.
So it just kills me. It absolutely drives me insane.
Oh, no.
I would make the doctor pay it.
It doesn't work that way, Doc.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. Trust me. You sign all that away.
I know, but if I made a mistake, not malpractice, but a mistake in surgery, I would have picked up to $2,500.
Yeah, well, I assure you, this doc that works for Kaiser ain't picking up jack shit.
No, that email goes into a stack with all the others.
It wasn't really an apology. Oh, I'm sorry that happened. Or I feel sorry for, it was like one of those, it was like a fake fucking sorry.
Just the automatic, automated, for whatever we screwed up.
I said, hey, I'm bleeding like crazy. I don't want to get too descriptive, but nothing's good here. You need to get to the hospital. I'm really sorry.
What? That's happening to you. Not that we did anything wrong.
Well, the biggest thing with malpractice is not what happened to him, but if the doctor said, don't worry about it, call me in the morning.
No, they said it was either 1 or 2 out of 100 people this happens.
It happens.
I just, I can't win the fucking lottery. In fact, if I buy a scratch card, I can't break even.
You want to.
But I'm 1 out of 100.
I've never had a flight canceled. I've had a lot of delays, but I never had them straight canceled. And I've missed flights, and Southwest is pretty good at putting me on the next one, so that's been helpful.
Oh, because you missed it?
Oh, I'm late for flights constantly. I might be opposite. I'm my father at 3, you'd think I'd be 2 hours, I'm running to the gate.
Now are you late because of your woman?
No, because of me.
Because you?
Oh yeah.
Wow, you usually don't hear that.
No, I always misjudge traffic, and I'm freaking.
That used to be the case, before 9/11, you could run up to the gate 5 minutes ahead of time.
No problem, right?
Oh, pre 9/11.
Yeah.
I used to fly all the time.
We used to do that in Vegas. You stayed at the poker table till the very last minute.
Right.
Airport security. You could walk through airport security with anything at one point.
Well, there wasn't any security.
Oh yeah, at one point there was zero security.
Right.
Remember there used to be in the 70s, it seemed like every time you look on the news, someone hijacked a plane and they're going to land it in Havana or something.
Right. This dude got him with a penknife and a
how about that one story where the guy, didn't they rob, like, they had like $2-3 million and they jumped out of the plane?
B.D. Cooper.
And they never found him?
There was one guy in a 727, he came out the back and he parachuted in the Pacific Northwest. Right. And they found some money. They never found him. They never found the bulk of the money. Some kids found it in the mud in a stream.
What was the money in, you know?
It was in a knapsack.
Wow. Oh, so in the knapsack, some of the money.
Right.
Oh, that's telling.
Yeah,
although the kids who found it might have taken it.
Yeah. We only found $500.
Right.
Nice new bike, Billy.
I think they were young kids.
All right, 303-713-8255. You have any questions? Been ripped off, taken advantage of? Bad contractor? Bad dentist? You know, we were just talking about doctors. It's like, oh my goodness. Doctors, when it comes to lawsuits, Steve, you're an attorney. By the way, Steve is with Larson Tax Relief. Any tax questions you have, but if you ever look at pricing together a medical malpractice suit, it is unbelievable how much an attorney or a firm has to pull out of pocket. I mean, you're talking, I'd say at a bare minimum, with expert witnesses just getting through discovery and getting through, oh my goodness, I would guess you're probably at $200,000 minimum before you're even in front of a jury. I mean, it's crazy. The damages have to be massive because the attorney and the firm is taking the money out of pocket and they're working on contingency. So they got to be sure they're going to get at least recoup their costs.
Well, yeah, and these expert witnesses is a cottage industry. You know, you can retire and make more money as a doctor just testifying in these cases and things like that.
And Doc, you practice in Colorado forever. Isn't it true that almost every doctor in Colorado has the same insurance company? Therefore, who is that company?
It's called Copic.
So Copic, so if you're a practicing doctor, you have that for insurance.
Correct.
And then, if you're testifying against another doctor, they have the same insurance company, most likely.
Most likely. But the thing is with Copic, if there was malpractice, they will settle. If there wasn't malpractice, they go to court. They win about 97% of the cases.
So they know if they're winning or not.
Right. But if there is malpractice, they will settle and save themselves the $200,000.
Yeah, I got you. I wish every firm looked at that. There are some companies that are just, they will do everything. They will fight. It doesn't matter. Even if they're in the wrong, they want to set the example as a long-term business plan more than anything, that we're going to fight you tooth and nail forever. That's what we're going to do. We have attorneys on site, on salary. We are going to fight you even if we're in the wrong because we want less lawsuits in the future. I mean, really, that's the business model. Don't give in. And that's just how it goes.
I'll tell you, with Copic, we got deductions on our insurance policy. They give courses on how to deal with errors.
Did you ever leave anything in somebody?
No.
Never.
I mean, as a doctor?
No. Yeah, oh, God. And this is the guy that got kicked off of Match.com. I just want to tell you that right now. So I'm not even going to go there, but he's delivered thousands of babies. I mean, have you, like, doing a C-section or everything?
Never.
Anything at all?
Never.
Okay. You always hear about that, or you see it on the TV shows, and I assume they're real. I saw it on Seinfeld. It was a thin mint.
Junior mint.
A junior mint. They had the whole torso open,
right,
and it flew down and was in there, and the guy got very sick a few days later. I figured that was a true story, but maybe I'm wrong. Hey, Larry, we looked at this online tax stuff, and for people just joining us, Larry actually brought some information to the show I think is kind of cool. In 2022, for 2021 taxes, instead of going through something like a TurboTax or some of these pay-per-play places, you can actually log in and through the IRS do your tax return. Now, there's probably, I mean, Steve Cizik with Larson Tax Relief, I mean, most people are probably not going to want to do that. You want at least a preparer, if not a full-blown accountant looking at your taxes. But who would you say this would be good for?
I mean, if you got a W-2 and nothing else, you know, that's an easy tax return to do on your own. I mean,
and there's no cost to it.
Standard, click through it, put your information in. If you've got a bunch of different kids or a bunch of different deductions, or if you've got a couple of mortgages, things like that, then you probably should get prepared.
Kind of look at that.
You take advantage. It's worth the $200 you'll spend to.
So Larry, we got that email you sent over, and basically you said, "Hey, I did this online at irs.gov, and then I finally got through to them weeks and weeks later after sitting on hold forever, and they told me they got it, but they're not going to accept it for 2 reasons. One, I didn't check a box, and we'll get into the box part in a second. And then the second reason was you didn't put in a PIN or he didn't know the PIN. What was it?
I don't think he had a PIN.
He didn't have a PIN, which you need. So you looked at it, Steve. Give them your thoughts.
Yeah, so I looked at it. I think that you got some bad information from the agent you spoke with. The boxes that you're absolutely right. And I commend you for not listening to them and giving them 100% credit, because I'll tell you, 50% of that time I talk to an agent with the IRS, they're wrong, and I got to call someone else to get accurate information. So in this box, don't check any one of those boxes. The one thing I think that it didn't get processed is because you didn't have a PIN, and a PIN is your identification number. It tells the IRS who you are and make sure that there's no fraudulent returns filed for you. So my
Larry,
advice would be to not check that box, get a PIN, file this thing. It'll probably process through no problem.
Did you get that, Larry? He's saying redo it, get the PIN, do not check that box, and whoever you talk to is probably a numbskull.
Okay, well,
I threw in the
that's what I thought. I thought I'd call again. I don't want to spend hours and hours, and try to get a different agent that would listen to me.
Yeah, but it's not worth 4 hours. Just go do it.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
So
It is crazy, though. There is no reason. I thought you were... I thought maybe you were wrong by how you were reading it, but you read it perfect. Do you have it up? I mean, read what it says, Steve.
So it asks for the standard deduction. It says, someone can claim, one box, you as a dependent, the other box, your spouse is a dependent, third box about something else. It doesn't have a no box.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
There's no box. Don't claim something that's,
So it's almost like it is a no unless you check one of those.
Exactly right.
I mean, that's how anybody would read it.
Yeah.
the detailed instructions tell you exactly what to do, and in the detailed instructions, it says, can someone else claim you as a deduction?
Yeah, and they can in your case.
Well, no, they cannot.
That's what they can't. They cannot in your case.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You don't want to check any one of those boxes. You've interpreted it correctly.
No, you got it. Just redo it. The reason he's saying they kicked it back was purely the PIN. You cannot do it without that PIN. So redo it, and they're going to accept it, is what he's saying.
I'm going to have to request a PIN then, because I don't have one.
You will.
I have been doing my taxes and hundreds of other taxes for 60 years, and so I'm very familiar with every detail of the forms.
It sounds like you are, man. No kidding.
Yeah. Good catch. Yeah, don't believe those guys all the time. What they say is not a gospel. You need to
not only
use your brain.
Like you said, they had a permission or whatever from whoever. I don't even know where the budget comes from.
Right.
But they had the budget for 4,000 people. They could only find 400.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows who's working there? Honest to God. I mean, you don't know. But I'll tell you this, I have never had anybody call up and go, I called the IRS and I got through in, under an hour. It's never happened.
Nope.
How do you guys do it when you're dealing on people's behalf? People that owe 10, 20, 30, 50, 100,000 in taxes. How do you possibly pay your employees to sit around and be on the phone for 4 or 5 hours? There must be a backline for professionals like you guys.
Yeah, there is a practitioner's line, but when you're looking the difference between 4 hours and an hour. So a lot of times, I have staff that'll sit on hold and they'll be working, doing other things in the background, and when it finally
so they're just on speaker. I mean, it's just as bad.
Yeah, and
let's
try to get 4 or 5 done when we get an agent on the phone, kind of thing.
What was the good old days? I mean, like you guys would wait 10 minutes or not wait at all?
I don't think it's ever been the good old days, but yeah, it used to be about 30, 45 minutes.
Okay, so it sucks all across the board.
Yeah, it's a government entity, and a lot of people are calling, and then, a lot of these agents don't want to do their job, so they won't give you the good information. You got to call back. That's a lot of reasons why we get paid.
Suzanne, we can free Larry up. All he's got to do is refile that. Gary, what in the heck is going on with Frontier and DIA security? I mean, did you get in trouble, or what happened, Gary? I'm going to have to put you on hold and come back, but give us a little tidbit.
Well, I'm going blind and didn't get in trouble, but just really got it was very degrading going through TCA, and it was very humiliating the way I was treated through Frontier Airlines.
All right, listen, I want to hear about this, man. I think I've had pretty good luck in security at DIA, but I've personally had horrible luck in other places. But I want to hear your story. I mean, you're going blind. I'd like to know what happened, and best scenario, we can let everybody know what these guys are doing, but that's not a good deal. All right, 303-713-8255. One line open, 303 Martino. Don't forget help@troubleshooter.com. That works all the time. And that's about it. Hold tight.
This is Denver's talk station with Michael Brown in the morning.
You haven't contacted him for almost a year?
Hey, guys, I did Paul the Waterman.
You did indeed.
Renew. Okay, David Ellis. Weigh it and pay it, baby.
Guy was trying to close on his house. He had to get a lien payoff letter from the IRS. Talk about screwing up, just a client of mine. I was like, he's going to pay.
I'll tell you something you never want to hear if you're a landlord. Hey, your tenant, by the way, was just arrested. He turned your rental into a meth lab. Or how about this? How about you're out of town? And you get a call from your neighbor. Hey, there's water coming out of your walkout basement. Something flooded over there. Things happen. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be fire damage, mold. It could be an unintended death. Someone passed away in a rental you have. Like I said, meth labs, asbestos. There's numerous things. You need the right people. You need the people at American Restoration to help you out if you are ever in any of these. These guys have all the proper licensing. They do everything right. They can help you out, too. They'll hold your hand through the insurance part of it. They're just great guys. Rock's the owner. I've known Rock now, my goodness, well over 5 years. We never get any complaints on these guys, and they do it all. They have turnkey solutions. They get all the bad stuff out. They remove it. They sanitize. They can even do the professional building, including the drywall, the plumbing, the electric. They can do everything. Give my guys a call if you need them, but more importantly, put the phone number in your phone so you know who to call if something happens. 8337-AMREST, 8337-AMREST, or check Rock and the guys out at amrest247.com. Now, weigh it and pay it. What am I talking about? I'll tell you exactly. David Ellis Jewelers. You have old necklaces laying around, maybe an earring. You lost one of them, but it's a gold earring. Any precious metal, and I say this half-kiddingly, even gold teeth, any precious metal, these guys will weigh it and pay it. They're going to give you way more than a pawn store. They're going to give you an actually decent value for it compared to anybody else out there. If it's been laying around and it's been a long time, call up David Ellis or just head down to 3rd and Clayton. They're at 2640 East 3rd Avenue, 3rd and Clayton. David Ellis Jewelers. You can check them out at davidellisjewelry.com.
Did you know audio memory lasts 6 times longer than visual memory? That's why businesses advertise with iHeartMedia, the #1 audio company in the country. Reach consumers with radio, podcasting, streaming, and more. Make your business a household name and visit iHeartAdvertising.com or call 844-BUY-RADIO. Grow your reach, grow your business.
Rely on it, and they're like, well, send me what they sent you. And he owes $160,000. They sent the title company a letter saying he only owed $30,000.
Oh my God!
And I was like, well,
do it.
What do you guys want to do? And he's like, you know what? I don't want to have to deal with it coming back or whatever. But I'm like, you can walk with $130,000 because they made.
And then if they do come
made a
back,
mistake in writing, which is under the code. If they make that mistake, that's their issue, right? I mean, he still owes it, but he could have the money as opposed to it going with that. This kind of crap happens like daily for me, and I'm like, these are your options, Like I can't really advise them not to, follow the rules, but I'm like, this is what could happen. It's just crazy. Just like inept over there. Like some lady didn't click the right thing, this guy could take $130K and go to the Canyons.
It's crazy.
And then he'll drag somebody who's $5,000 through the mud, It's just like.
I think you should let people know the gold tooth has to be out of your mouth.
What? The gold has to be. Hey, put your face down there.
You can't go in.
Hey, Bob, bring the pliers.
How much will it cost?
Change it to grandma's gold too.
So my daughter, dude, 20 years old. I'm so proud of this. It's crazy. She's heading up to Wyoming School of Law in 3 weeks, man.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
Nice.
She killed it, man. Killed it a year
Where'd she
plus
go,
out of
undergrad?
college, or a year plus out of high school early, and then she got out of Metro with her bachelor's well over a year and a half.
She saved some money. Good for her. Yeah, excellent.
It's going to be weird having her gone, though.
She obviously takes after her mom.
Yeah. Looks as well.
Motivation.
We hired so we're having a party for her, and we were going to cater it through Maggiano's, but I said, I wonder if these food trucks would come out. So we found a kick-ass food truck that would come out.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I like that way better.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of food truck?
They got like cheesesteaks and I think hamburgers, gyros.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
What time's it for?
Actually, I don't know.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And my son just got married. It was the same thing. The kids did it all themselves.
Did they do food trucks?
No. They had like a
full catering. Yeah.
No. They had a barbecue buffet.
Oh, cool.
But all I had to do was write a check.
That's the way to do it right there.
Write a check and make a speech. Yeah. So it's pretty easy.
My only advice for law school is for her to not spend her entire time in the library.
They said the first year she's not going to be doing anything but just books.
Yeah.
Said the first year is going to be the killer.
It's 5 hours of homework every night after a full day of school.
After a full day.
That's what I told people. I went to med school in Washington, D.C. I said the only reason I got out was because the only place that was air conditioned was the library.
There you go.
Well, it's weird you said that because they actually get their own library. It's almost like a little desk nook thing.
Yeah.
You got to kind of claim it quick, but
I just felt like a lot of my colleagues in Syracuse would just go in there and just chit chat and mess around. With
I can't see her
for
doing
6 hours. Like no one say I was 6 hours in the library. Like, no, you weren't.
Hey, Garage Magic, rock solid, beautiful, and I mean beautiful garage floors. The coatings, you can pick all different colors you want. Tough as nails. You can't really scratch it. You can't stain it. You hose it off. It looks brand new. Check them out at GarageMagic.com. That's GarageMagic.com. And speaking of great companies, check this out. I can't believe these guys are doing this special right now. 50% off installation and labor. This is Renew Home Innovations. You want that brand new bathroom. Not only do you get 50% off installation right now, there's 2-year financing where you pay 0 interest, and these solid, beautiful quartz walls. There's no maintenance, huge inventory. They can do rapid installations. You want that bathroom done, you want it done now, call up Nick at the gang at Renew Home Innovations, 303-904-2000, 303-904-2000. Okay, 303-713-8255. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, back to Gary. Gary, you said you're going blind. I mean, are you blind? Do you have like a seeing eye dog, a cane?
I use a cane.
Okay, and you're going through DIA security. Are you going through the big security or Terminal A ramp, out of curiosity?
Big security.
So you go through big security, and what happened? What actually happened that's got you ticked off, man?
Well, I'll just start off with a question. Have you ever been through security and have a TCA agent grab you and pull you?
Grab me and pull me. I have not. I have not.
Okay, so that...
I don't think that's normal.
Initially when I was walking through, the gentleman came up, grabbed me by my arm, started kind of pulling me one way. I asked him what he was doing. He said, I'm going to help you through the metal detector. Then another lady came over, grabbed my cane. She took it from me. I asked her what she was doing. Then the person that was with me was like, what are you doing to his cane? Because they were trying to take it apart, and you can't take it apart. So they eventually put it on the ban, but by that time, my cane was already damaged. On my way back from...
How'd they damage the cane? Gary, how'd they damage it?
The tip of it, they broke the tip of it.
Got it.
Which is what I filled the ground with, and that was kind of like falling off. So then when I was coming back to Frontier Airlines, a woman saw my cane in middle of my seat. Now let me ask you another question. Have you ever had an airline, somebody ask you to give them your glasses and stow them away up above?
No, I have not, but hold on. That first question you asked, interestingly enough, I answered no, but Steve Sizik, one of my guests in today, answered it yes. Why did they grab you, Steve? I'm just curious. You said a TSA agent grabbed you.
Yeah, I guess it was just random. And once again, full family, late for the flight. I was telling you I'm always late for my flights. They pulled me. They took me to a back room. They patted me down.
For no reason.
Yeah, backhand on. Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
It's invasive.
Oh, big time, big time.
So now, why would these guys take your glasses? I mean, I assume they know you're blind because you have a cane, but why would they? Why in any world would Frontier Airlines take your glasses?
Well, I don't have glasses. That was just an example because I use my...
Well, that's a hell of a strange example, no offense to you. But no one's ever... What did Frontier do to irk you?
Glasses are kind of like... glasses to you are like my cane to me. They allow you to see.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Happened.
Gary, yeah, I get you, but the first people... Here's why you confused me so much, and I didn't get your analogy. Because the first people was DIA Security or TSA. Then I thought, then you said Frontier took your glasses, which I took literally. I'm like, I can't imagine a reason in the world.
No.
But what happened with Frontier that you didn't like?
So my cane was in the middle of the seat, and I was in the middle seat. There was somebody to the aisle and somebody in the window, and the lady's request wanted me to remove my cane and put it up above because the lady next to me wouldn't be able to come out the aisle. And so I just had explained to her that I needed my cane to get around if necessary, and that wouldn't be feasible for me because I can't see where she's putting it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's what I used to see.
Yeah,
so,
of course. I get it. That sucks, man.
So then I showed the lady that I could move my cane. If the lady next to me needed to get out, I could move my cane and she could walk through very easily, at which time the flight attendant took it upon herself to take the cane from me, asked her to give it back, and she put it up above. And then when I got my cane back from when I was getting off the plane, the part that was damaged before finally broke. I've contacted DIA and Frontier. Nobody's contacted me back except for DIA, but DIA said that everything's out of their hands because they're just the facility. They're not.
It's TSA. So I'm gonna give you a phone number to TSA, and we've had other complaints come in, and they actually did talk to someone, and I don't know the outcome. I really don't remember, but it is worth complaining, honestly, if they can improve the process down there. But it's 866-289-9673, and that's Transportation Security Administration, TSA, basically their complaint number, 866-289-9673. Talk about a tough job. Oh, man, you couldn't pay me to answer that phone. I think I would rather work for the IRS, Steve. Going through airport security should not be the way it is. There has to be a better way to do it. And why we have to take our shoes off. Now, how come if you're a kid or if you're over a certain age, you don't have to take your shoes off, but everybody in the middle? If I was a terrorist, that would just make me think, send in older terrorists who doesn't have to take their shoes off. I'm being serious. Why? I don't even understand why they have the rules they do.
That's entirely random at this point.
Remember that moron shoe bomber? He got through.
But the main reason is old people don't want 72 virgins. It'd kill them.
Oh, Doc.
The doctor.
He got kicked off of Match.com.
Softballs. You're just knocking him out.
Have I mentioned he's the only person I know that has gotten kicked off of Match.com? I have no idea why. You judge for yourself.
Someone needs to research what you have to do to get kicked off.
Hey, Gary, I appreciate your call, man, but hopefully Frontier gets back to you. I've never had luck getting through to Frontier unless if I do one thing. You call into their regular number, whatever it is, Fly Frontier, and you basically act like you're going to book a ticket. It'll try to scare you out of talking to an agent by saying, if you book a ticket over the phone, it costs more than if you book it on there. They'll try to scare you. In fact, the last time I did it, I think it was like $50 or something. I mean, it's crazy if you want to book over the phone now, but eventually you'll get through to an agent. Then I tell the agent the hard time you got and see if that goes anywhere. But honestly, man, that really sucks. That's a horrible story.
Well, I think they messed up his cane or something, Mark.
They did.
Okay.
But that wasn't Frontier. That was the TSA. I would try to get that money back, Suzanne. Wouldn't you? Honestly, if somebody broke it. How many laptops have I lost in Las Vegas at that security?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. I'm not kidding. Like, they're gone, Jack. Gone. And it always happens the same way. Here's how it happens, Steve. Here's how it happens. I go through, I forget to take the tablet out of my carry-on, okay? Then They take it out at the end. It gets flagged. It goes down that other conveyor belt. They figure it out. It's a tablet. They take it out. They give me the bag, and then they got to run the tablet back through. So it goes to the very, very back of the line, and ultimately it takes so long, I forget. Hey, I just left Vegas. What can I say? I have lost 2 tablets that way.
Vegas that lost the tab, or was it Mark that lost the tab?
Hey, it's TSA.
Right.
All right, 303-713-8255. Suzanne, who should I go to, 401k or new state law? Unintended consequences.
He called first, the new state law.
All right, Jennifer, you'll be after Eric, and then we got one line open, 303-713-8255, 303 Martino. Hey, Eric, real quick, what are we talking about? And I got to take a fast break and come back to you.
All right, hey, you and Tom, a couple weeks ago, were talking about this new state law about towing rules.
Oh, yeah. In fact, we had one of the owners of Wyatt. We had one of the managers or GMs of Wyatt's on. Yes. Hold tight. That's an interesting topic. If people don't know about the new laws, they're not as cut and dry as we first thought. Hold tight.
You get on one of these phone trees. If you say help, like when I call the airlines,
I say operator.
Or you say, I just say help 3 times, and then they switch you to a live agent.
Is that right?
Yeah, try it next time if you get into a phone tree, and because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So I've always done that with airlines and anybody else.
Yeah.
Eventually, if you do it 3 or 4 times, they'll put you to a live agent.
I read somewhere you can just say like avocado a bunch of times.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Help is easier.
I'm going to make you chime in, Rain. You're being quiet.
Yeah.
It's intimidating, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
I just hit the thing.
She works at Coors Field.
Don't talk over.
Talk about intimidation. Rockies are down 14-0. People want their liquor, but it's the 7th inning stretch.
Right.
I just keep feeding them more.
I can't watch anymore. Who goes to Rockies game and watch baseball?
Hold on, guys. Oh, dang it. I don't even have. Here we go. Fix it. I want to tell you about a deal they have. $39. That's it. $39. New customers only. The reason they do this deal, they come out, they clean your air conditioner, they tear it apart, they get rid of the #1 killer of your furnace or AC. You know what that is? Well, it's dirt. They actually clean it all out. They inspect it. They slap it with a no breakdown guarantee, all for $39. New customers only. Why? Well, it's simple. They want to introduce their company to you. So in the future, if you have any problems with your water heater or your electrical panel or any electrical issue or HVAC or furnace or ductwork, anything they do, drain cleaning, they want that sticker on your furnace. You know who to call. It's a great company. George Donaldson's one of the owners. Fix it 24/7, $39. Call and get it booked today if you haven't had that AC done yet. Fix it 24/7, 720-526-3939, 720-526-3939, or check them out at fixmyhome.com. Now, we've been talking about the liquid loan all day. Kurt Rogers, he's a man over at Affordable Interest Mortgage. This is a 30-year product that gives you a line of credit in a first mortgage on your house. You can tap into all that equity over the next 30 years, and you can pay it down. And here's the greatest part. You only pay a mortgage payment based upon how much of it's out. So you have access to the cash, but if you don't need the cash and it's sitting there, you don't even have a mortgage payment. You can get all the details through Kurt, and I know what you're thinking. Well, I'm in a 3-4% interest rate right now. It doesn't matter because this product is simple interest. It doesn't front load all that interest. I'm telling you, you will cash flow immediately. You'll save money on interest immediately, and he'll show you the math. He'll show you the breakdown. We've never had one person complain about this product. In fact, it's the complete opposite. You want to hear a stunning fact? There's only been one foreclosure in the last 25 years on this product. One person. You can actually, if you lose your job, you can use that line of credit to actually pay the mortgage payment. You can pay interest only if you want. It's all up to you. That's why it's called The Liquid Loan. Check them out, theliquidloan.com, or call Kurt so you can see how much you can save right now. 720-895-0500, 720-895-0500. Now, you know who I want to talk about? John Fuller and Fuller Law. I kid you not. I love this attorney. Suzanne and I used him when we got T-boned. She had a broken nose. We both had some injuries, but she was messed up the most. Honestly, every airbag went off. It was traumatic. It was horrible. But when everything calmed down, the first person we called was John Fuller. Here's what John told you, or told us. I'm going to be very straightforward. He said, listen, you know, I know you guys didn't take the ambulance over to the emergency room, but I want you to get Suzanne to the emergency room right now. So we drove up, and thank God we did, because she had more issues than what we thought. Like I said, a broken nose. He teaches you what needs to be done to maximize the numbers in that case. That's it. You know, I didn't set the rules. It's these insurance companies that did. And they have tons of attorneys that are fighting for them. Well, John Fuller will fight for you. You know, in that particular accident, he got his maximum policy limits from that other driver that did it. By the way, if you want to know what happened, the woman was screaming at her kids, blew through a red light when we had a green light. It was absolutely horrible. Then it went so well with John Fuller, and like I said, he'll walk you through everything to maximize that case. Then, about a year later, our daughter, Adeline, got rear-ended on I-25. Same thing. Car was totaled. She had, like, they call it whiplash, but it's a actual real thing. I mean, it can come weeks after the accident. But he walked her through the case. Oh, it was just incredible. And guess what? Maximum policy limits again. John Fuller, he's my accident lawyer, and he can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co. Give him a call. You're always going to deal directly with John himself. 303-597-4500 or myaccidentlawyer.co.
Did you know that you do not have to hire multiple contractors and visit dozens of home?
Okay. Here's what we're going to do, just for fun. Towing laws. Who do I have coming back? Doc, I did renew.
Yes, you did.
And I did magic once.
Yes.
So we're going to do.
And you did affordable interest.
Oh, I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person.
Oh, you forget now.
It's Monday. I went so long on that last break. I mean, am I just not coming back? I'm not coming back. I went so long, we just ate up the whole break. I should have 6 minutes here, but we have nothing. We're going to come back from the commercials into the exit music.
So now it's 10 minutes from now until
people are
06.
Doesn't matter. You know what? You either hear the commercials now or you hear them later. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be the same amount.
So you got to pay some bills. We'll be back. People understand.
Midweek, depending on their workload. Jesus.
I'm curious about this state law and what they're changing.
It's changed big time.
Because I live in Capitol Hill and like the parking's a nightmare.
But that's city parking, right?
No,
street?
So we have White's Towing that does like our condo building, and it's just crazy. So it's like I'm paying $150 for my spot, and so like if
there's a reserve spot.
Do people take your spot sometimes?
So
I'll tell you exactly how it works. I'm going to tell you when we come on air.
But I'm like, so what's if I get home late from Forest Field and then somebody's in the spot, I got to wait 24 hours until they.
Hey, babe, could we try to get Wyatt's back on? I'd love just to make sure I get everything right on this call. It is important stuff. She's not in there, is she? I can't fucking see. I'm like the blind guy at DIA.
She's short too.
Is she in there? You can't see her. Yeah,
you know, the blind guy said when someone grabbed them, they probably grabbed him by the elbow and said, "I'm going to take you through the, the pre-check," and he's complaining about that.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell.
That's what it sounds like.
Maybe they checked it through the thing. I don't know.
And the cane is a safety issue. All she did was put it up on top, and if you had to get up, she retrieved it for him.
Right.
I can see where that would be a safety issue.
Or
if you have a cane blocking the road. Right. They're pretty safety conscious about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. They shouldn't have broken it. But
no, they shouldn't have broken it.
It seemed like everything else was fairly justified.
But the thing may have been 50 years old. You don't know.
Right.
One thing we've learned on this show, and Mark will,
he felt slighted.
There's always two sides.
Oh, of course.
Right, Mark? Or three sides.
Yeah, or three sides. That's
the guy chimes in.
And it's amazing how they so many calls will leave out a salient point, right, Mark?
Well, they threw it in their head a bunch while they're sitting on
Right.
hold. How am I going to?
They won't tell us. They won't tell us the truth and fact.
Right.
Especially those people getting evicted, it always seems to be like, oh, my landlord's picking on me. Oh,
Right.
well, because you haven't paid
You
your
owe him
your-
$50,000.
Yeah.
You know,
Those are the
if
best.
you went to work and they didn't pay you, would you be excited to go to work again?
Or I am 100% paid up. I don't owe them
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
And then we'll get the records. You know, we'll talk to
Well, that was during COVID. I don't know that. Well, he still hasn't paid the mortgage.
They owe so much money. You're going, how do you say you owe nothing? I mean, how is this even possible?
But I gave him a partial payment 2 months ago. Yeah.
That was $50, man.
I have paid him every month. Yeah, $1.
I
Someone
still,
said I didn't have to.
I still don't understand.
What'd you bring us for
how
lunch today?
Somebody didn't take this to the Supreme Court about why the government has the right to interfere with a private contract.
They probably did. It just never got reviewed. They're too busy. You know,
I don't know if
judging
anybody
other
that brought that to the
stuff.
court.
It would have to have been like a.
Well, it was
to get
overturned.
there-
They can't do it again.
To get
Well,
it there,
that,
it takes
yeah, but
forever.
still,
It's too
it took
late.
them a long time to do that.
Well, because no administration wanted to be the ones kicking everybody out of their houses while they were telling them they can't work. I mean, which they shouldn't have done either.
Right.
The whole thing was a
It's actually
clusterfuck.
carried on so much further. I mean, it carried on a year beyond when people going back to work. Like, it's all right, well, get back to work.
It'll be interesting, I think, when the IRS catches up too on people that, claimed unemployment and didn't have their taxes taken out and all that mess.
Did I do a Genesis? Do you guys remember Solar?
No, you did not.
Yeah, Tom's new company, you said? Genesis.
I don't remember Genesis Solar.
I don't think I did either, Genesis.
I probably did a Genesis.
We had a Genesis on the lives, but the
Yeah,
first
you did a
or
live.
second break.
But I didn't do in-house.
I don't know, I can't keep up with all of that. I tried.
I heard Genesis.
So we can either do yoga
Here we go again.
or we can stop and have a cold beer.
Oh, boy.
I'm having cold brew.
We are leaving. We are leaving out of town Wednesday, so I mean, trying to get on an exercise regimen this
little late in the game.
This late in the week.
That's like
Or
studying
this
for the
early.
test. Either you know it or you don't by now, right?
Exactly.
You're going.
Because I think when we got back,
Let me
the
tell you something.
motivation would be like, bam,
He's a terrible influence.
right there in my face.
He's the worst
I mean, think about it.
You can have a beer and do yoga.
That's
Oh,
what
I
it is.
can't. I can't.
You come down and it's
When I get out of yoga, I feel like no beer.
Let's have a pool on how many beignets he's going to have at Cafe Du Monde in New Orleans.
We went there once. Remember that?
Well, you got to stop there once.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's not a donut.
It's a beignet. It's like a,
That's what it's called.
It's a kind of like a dumpling, a sweet dumpling. with
I bought
avocado.
Abby the mix when we were in New Orleans, and then she made us some when we got back. Remember that?
It's a hellhole. New Orleans is a hellhole.
It is.
Oh,
I
so
have
much
somebody
fun.
requesting.
I've never not had fun in New Orleans.
I have
We've
some-
only been there once.
Pardon me. Yeah, I know. It's like I have somebody requesting your name and email. Should I just shoot him Larson?
No, we'll give it out here.
S. Sizik at Larson.
Well, I know. I just didn't know if you wanted your email.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
It'll go to some sales guys if not, they don't know what they're talking
He gets direct. He'd much rather have directly.
Yeah, that way I can.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
Yeah, no, I can give advice. That's
Oh,
no worries, as long as that's what they're asking for.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you know Doc got kicked out of the match?
You're never going to hear the end of that.
He keeps
At
trying to
least,
give us reasons.
3 times a day when Tom is
He's
here.
not helping out his case here.
We call him uncancelable
He talks about
because
my hair. And
he
3
doesn't
times
work
a day,
anywhere.
he talks about
All
that.
he does is volunteer. He's got money.
It's like
It doesn't
Let me
matter
tell you,
what comes
I-
out of his mouth.
I'm not convinced
Critter with
that-
his suitcase full of Pringles or whatever. And like, I don't even work here. That's the problem.
I'm not convinced that if Mark in his single days had a Match.com option,
Oh man, I
he
didn't
may
know.
have been kicked off himself.
Who says I don't have one now?
The old murder account. I found my wife on Tinder. That was awkward.
See what he said about Match.
Who was the one that sold? Oh, who was the dating site that got hacked and they released all the information?
Yeah.
But what they Dolly Madison, Ashley Madison. It was all people that wanted to have discreet affairs.
Right.
Yeah, and it's all robots on there. Like it's not actual real people on the other side. All these guys are giving us money.
Hi, my name's Steve.
Oh man, the voice modulator.
Oh my God! Tell me that wasn't the best though.
Oh yeah, it's like one of the.
What would you do if you were on there? Like you're watching the news at home and it just breaks. It's been released at all these sites. I'd be like, well, honey, there's no reason for you to check.
And it was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh, I remember one time I signed up on that just as a goof.
Crazy.
You freaking deserve it if you're having an affair.
Can you fucking believe it though? What a business model. That company made a fortune up till that dump.
Yeah, they were just taking advantage of stupid people, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was like 95% robots and 5%
like Twitter.
prostitutes or something.
It's like
just
Twitter.
Get on there and just tell these, we work these guys enough so you can get them to pay for the extra service or whatever.
These bots are so smart now, it doesn't even matter.
That's true.
They just go out. These bots on Twitter can go out and just find stories, and then they make them sound like it's, Joe Blow, whoever they're programmed to be. Yeah. And they just alive and living, and you'll never know.
Yes. Yeah. But isn't that why Musk, one of the reasons why he bailed?
Shit, he bailed because that fucking stock, man, it's like half.
You think they're going to
I bail too. I'd pay that $1 billion to what he makes.
Are they going to force him for specific performance?
There's no way they can. You can't force someone to buy a company.
Yeah, they could have, there's a bridge contract clause, which is $1 billion, but he'll wait a lot.
In meantime, that company, what was it, $55 a share?
He was going to do 47.
What's it now?
32, 35, something like that.
This is going to kill him. And then, here's where he's banking. I'll tell you exactly where he's banking. Discovery. He's going to hang them up in Discovery to where they got to break down that business model, every bot, how they make money, who they make money to, and they have to answer every single question. And it's going to fucking destroy company.
Yeah, so they'll bail out.
If they
That's exactly right, because they're making money to these selling ads for people like, hey, I got 600,000.
Whatever it is.
And it's like, no, it's actually 25,000 actual people.
And then think of all the money that if they're selling, saying their audience is one thing and it's not.
Exactly. They're watching Silicon Valley, and it's like they predicted this on HBO. Continue.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You ever watch that? Did you watch that show? It's hilarious.
I'm going to set up a phony account and get kicked off Twitter.
There you go.
To stop with a match and say that he got kicked off Twitter.
You could just have a phony match account. Like, I'm back, baby!
No, I did.
They let me back on.
I resubmitted the exact same profile.
Oh, boy.
With a different credit card.
Okay.
And it's still there.
Okay, so they'll take your money.
They'll take my money.
That's funny. I'm curious the rules on that.
I mean, I had a relationship for 5 years with a lady I met on Match, another one with 3 years with somebody I met on Match.
All right, welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. Your life just a little bit better. If you're new to the show, $300 million. What am I talking about? That is how much money this show has saved people in merchandise, refunds, services over a 40-year period. It's unbelievable. You realize that's more than most law firms? Now, I'm not talking these mega law firms, but most law firms haven't recouped that much, and we don't charge a nickel. We help people out. 303-713-8255. I'll always let you know when a line's open. Right now we have 2 lines open. 303-Martino. That number, by the way, works on and off the air, so you can call it before or after the show. It'll go to a voicemail, and we'll get back to you. We sometimes get back to you in the evenings, in the mornings, over the weekends. We have a group of deputies like Deputy Doc next to me that help out all the time. And then we have referral list members like Steve Sizik, who works for Larson Tax Relief at referrallist.com. He's one of our tax experts. So if you have any tax questions, Steve's actually an attorney that works with Larson Tax Relief. So any tax questions you have. And by the way, the one thing I want to say about Larson, they're a massive size company. They help people in tax debt all around the country, but we're lucky their local offices are here. But 844-LARSON-TAX is their phone number, 844-LARSON-TAX, or you can go to LarsonTaxRelief.com. But if you found yourself in a predicament where you owe the IRS real money, or you know you're going to be owing them money, they can go to battle on your behalf. Now,
they can't, if you're making a ton of money, you're going to end up paying taxes, but they can help get the fees waived. They can help possibly get the interest down. They can help in numerous different ways, get you on a payment plan. But the worst thing you can do is nothing. In fact, deer in the headlights, I call it, Steve. At what point do you guys at Larson Tax Relief get your first phone call? Is it that notice that goes, hey, we're going to levy your bank account, or hey, we're going to put a lien on your house? Why do people wait so long? What do you think it is?
Yeah, it's usually it's procrastination, or it's paralysis by analysis. They file one return, there's a balance. Oh, I'm not going to file my next year's return, and then it starts to pyramid, and it becomes too big of an issue. And then they got to wait till the IRS. They'll send you a bunch of letters, and then they send you a bunch certified, green envelope, say they're going to take all your stuff.
Nasty grams.
Yeah, that's usually when we get it.
And then imagine your spouse gets one. They have no idea.
Right,
I bet that happens a lot.
That's a very intense call, as you can imagine. I have to, talk the spouse off the ledge, and we'll take care of it. That's half of my job, is being almost a psychotherapist sometimes. Like,
I bet
it's going to be fine. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be some brain damage. There's going to be some, some heartburn here, but we'll get through it, kind of thing. And that's half the battle. It's just saying, hey, look, there's a way to do this. We'll deal with it within the code. You're not going to pay the IRS one hot penny more than you have to. Thanks for calling me, because otherwise it would have gone the other direction.
If someone calls, and by the way, you guys have been with us 10 years at referralist.com, but 844 Larson Tax, someone calls that number. Let's just say they owe 30 grand. They got a nasty notice. Typically, what do? You listen to their circumstance. I assume you charge nothing at this point, and you kind of go over all the different options, the best options, the worst. What does someone expect when they call 844 Larson Tax?
Yeah, very similar. I mean, we have people that are enrolled agents that actually answer the phone, so they know the IRS code inside and out. So they're going to go through their particular circumstance. Obviously, they're going to base it on what facts you give them. If you don't give them all the facts, they can't really give you, a good answer. But they'll say, yeah, here's your options. These are the cost structures we can operate under. If you'd like to engage us, we'll go forward. There's no commitment. It's a free call, and those guys are happy to take that call.
Yeah, and your guys are straight. You're not going to make stupid promises. We know some of the commercials out there, and we get complaints on them all the time. Well, I owed 60 grand, and I thought I could pay $10. No, it never works that way. It just doesn't. The bottom line is really this. If you have the ability to pay, and I'll put a caveat on that, I don't think they go after retirement funds, qualified ones at all, do they? I mean, under 99% of the circumstances, if you really have no cash flow, no job, but you have a retirement, a 401k or something, they generally never go after that. Is that correct?
Right. Despite what you hear, the IRS is not in the business of kicking people out of their houses. Happy Gilmore taking grandma's house. It just doesn't happen.
But if you have the ability to pay, you do have a job. You can, like I said, you can save money on taxes, fees. I don't know about interest, maybe interest. Save them money in numerous ways. Make the payment plan. Get them off their backs more than anything. Because when they're in a payment plan, they will generally, once the IRS agrees to whatever the deal is, I mean, they won't block their passport renewal or anything like that.
Right. Once you're in a payment claim, you're deemed compliant. So then the IRS is happy with you.
So they're good unless you miss payment or something.
Yeah. And so all those nights when you woke up and you're like, I got to deal with that IRS issue, you don't. It's done. It's taken care of. And if you think, and that's the other part about having Larson is that we're not going anywhere. We've been here 10 years. We're going to be here for another 10.
Yeah,
if something happens, give me a call. We can take care of it. Or, hey, that notice is a CP 276. Guess what?
You're gonna
it in the trash.
Everything.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So that way, peace of mind a lot of the time.
I love it. 844 Larson Tax. You can call up right now if you have any questions in studio. But anytime, really, if you've been putting the stuff off, I'll say this too. It's better to start dealing with it now. If you know it's coming, the earlier you get on that payment plan, the better that plan's going to be. They can stop those penalties and interest quicker. It just is worth it. Quit putting it off. And these companies that try to scare the hell out of you or promise these results that are just, they never happen. If you have zero ability to pay, then you might end up paying zero taxes. But most people have equity in their homes. Most people have a job. Most people have money in the bank that's not retirement funds. But they'll give you the straight skinny on everything. Okay, we're going to get to the phones, but I do want to talk about Genesis Solar real quick. Free site evaluations only takes 20 minutes. If you've been thinking about solar, honest to God, if you've been thinking about it, you call them up. All their stuff comes with a 25-year bumper-to-bumper equipment warranty, a 25-year energy production guarantee. They're going to tell you how much energy you can create. If it doesn't create that much, they'll write you a check for a difference. No money down, no cash out of pocket. It's one of the few things that pays for itself, but within 20 to 24 hours, 20 minutes to 24 hours, they can tell you how qualified you are for solar at your house. They look at the bird's eye view. It's a great company, the best warranties. 303-474-4317. No hard sell there. Just call them up. It's all over the phone. They'll tell you the exact numbers. 303-474-4317. Now, let's go to Jennifer. Or no, Eric. Hey, Suzanne, were we able to get Wyatt's towing on?
I didn't know you wanted him on.
Yeah, see if you can get him on. I'm going to go to Jennifer. Eric, real quick. Eric called up. He's got some unintended consequences that have happened with the new towing laws. Eric, I wanted to get up one of our experts on that. Do you mind waiting just till we get him up?
Well,
and go ahead.
I just wanted to share what's going to happen, something I just learned last week.
Yeah, okay.
It hasn't happened yet.
Go ahead. What do you think's going to happen? And if people don't realize these new rules...
Here's what's going to so here's what's going to happen is most homeowners associations that have parking rules or prohibitions, all those are going to become null and void under the new state law. And my homeowner association last Saturday, we had our community picnic, and I was talking to a couple of neighbors who own commercial vehicles, and one guy owns a roofing company, and all four of them have said beginning August 9th they plan on starting to bring their commercial vehicles home and their prohibited trailers home, and the HOA can go F themselves. And this morning I was talking to code enforcement for my area, and the guy's like, look, we don't have enough officers to enforce this. And we only get
you're bringing up Eric, you're bringing up two things. One, the enforcement officers, you're probably right. They probably don't have enough to enforce it. I am curious, though, and I want to hear from someone that knows this law inside and out. Suzanne's trying to get on, but I don't know if you're correct on that second part. If an HOA says there's no commercial vehicles allowed, I am not so sure this new rule changes that.
We sat down with our lawyer. I'm on my HOA board. We sat down with our lawyer last Wednesday, and that is their interpretation of it.
Well, and I want to see what one of the biggest towing companies in Colorado, if not the largest, how their hundreds of attorneys interpret it. I'll be curious. I don't know because that scenario hasn't come up. One scenario that's come up is this. You're in an apartment complex or you're in a townhome or a condo where you have a shared parking lot and you actually pay for a spot. In fact, our common woman in with us, Rain Hayes, you're in this, right? Get on the mic there, Rain. And one of the things that's curious and you're afraid of is you pay how much a month for that parking spot?
So, it's $150 a month to park, and then it's your own numbered spot.
Yep.
So,
have you had people park there before?
Yes.
Have you had them towed?
Yes.
And it's crazy because you pay for that spot, and if you park somewhere else, you could get towed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a conundrum.
Yeah.
But my understanding, and hopefully we have our expert on, in that scenario, because you own or you rent that space, you can still have them towed without the 24-hour notice that is requested or not requested, which is which you pretty much have to do. But I want to go over those different scenarios because they're very interesting. But I think in your case, and we're going to have our expert on, it's not an issue there. The HOA one that Eric's talking about, Eric, I'm dying to know what these guys, how they read the law when it comes to an HOA, because that is a big deal. There is a lot of people, including someone on our referral list, Steve the painter, who basically had to park his truck for a while at a different place because his HOA was just going to have it towed. I mean, that really sucks. Everybody hold tight. We're going to deal with that. And then Eric Jennifer's got a question on a 401k. Jennifer, hold tight. We're going to try to get one of the main people at Wyatt's on. 303-713-8255. Ripped off, taken advantage of, 303 Martino.
As a marketer, you want to reach everyone, adults, teens, millennials, but it's not like these groups all hang out in the same place, right? Actually wrong. They're all right here, listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM/FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
You know, we have so many great attorneys at referrallist.com. I've used a lot of them. Like I told you, personal injury, John Fuller. I also use Blake Harris. I love Blake Harris Law. These guys do everything. Wills, trust, power of attorneys, medical directives, a beneficiary's deeds, payable on death accounts, cryptocurrency services that tie in with trust and tax compliance and different transactions. Anything that has to do with your legacy. Maybe you have a will out there that hasn't been updated for a while, or a trust. Maybe you ended up getting divorced at one point. You have new kids that you want in your will. Anything you want to either update or look at, or maybe you're not sure if you want a trust. Maybe you don't even know what a trust is. Blake will talk to you on the phone, of course, at no cost, and what I love about him when I dealt with him, you get that flat rate pricing. He listens to you, he gives you the advice, you come up with a game plan, and he charges one flat rate to do it. Maybe it's just a will, maybe it's a trust, maybe you just need that medical directive. He'll answer the questions, give you a price, and do it. He's a great man. 833-ASK-BLAKE. It doesn't get any easier than that. 833-ASK-BLAKE. Garage Magic, these guys are unbelievable. In fact, you know what I just did? I did the wrong script. You know, that's the funny part about live radio. That happens all the time. What do you do? I'm supposed to be talking about Become the Banker. I love Joe. I love Jordan. Let me tell you why. Right now with the stock market going up and down like crazy, it is time to diversify out there. They have a product, they have annuities, and they have one great annuity with a 9 or 10% bonus they give you on the money. You literally do get a paycheck for life. Maybe that's what you want. Deputy Doc has an annuity. He talks about it all the time. Every month he opens up his mailbox. There it is. Other people want different things. If you're younger, I want you to look at the Become the Banker program they have. You overfund a life insurance policy, then you can borrow money from it and pay yourself back with interest. That's how you grow it for retirement. But they'll go over everything with you, either on a webinar or you can go over to their office or even a phone call. But I want you to check them out at becomethebanker.org. That's becomethebanker.org. Now I want to tell you about Garage Kings. Garage Kings is unbelievable. We had them out to our house about, I don't know, 2.5 years ago. I wanted to get that coating in our garage. I saw my neighbor's house right before he sold it, and I said, that's it. It's a beautiful coating, and everything works great with it. So we had them come out. They gave us a free estimate right there, and we had it done. Our garage is so gorgeous, I can't even tell you. And every winter, after all the mud, we live on a dirt road and everything builds up, I just take the hose out, and guess what? The hose just wipes it away, and our garage looks brand new. I liked it so much. You know what I did? I had them do our outdoor patio. And the outdoor patio has now been about a year, year and a half. They put this non-slip on it, so when we're outside shoveling in the winter, everything's cool. It's just unbelievable. It holds up to the outdoors, holds up to rain. You can snow shovel every bit. You just got to check it out. And what I love about Garage Kings are a few things. You ready for this? A lifetime warranty. Any issues they'll take care of. No money down. They have no money up front, which if you listen to the show, we love. And then, of course, the free estimates. And then the guaranteed lowest price, 720-252-0370, 720-252-0370, or GarageKings.com.
Do you have a car taking up space in your garage? Not enough cash taking up space in your wallet? It's time to sell your car to the sharpest rides. With every vehicle sold, we will make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Call 303-9343-410 today.
You've worked your whole career to reach the top of the mountain, but now that you're thinking about retirement, who will help guide you back down the trail? Listen to the Retirement Summit with Summit Wealth Strategies to learn how to prepare. Saturdays at noon on 630 KHOW.
Did you know that you do not have to tear out your entire kitchen in order to have a brand new look? Really? Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Kitchens. You'll save big over total kitchen replacement with our unique 1/4-inch cabinet resurfacing process. Choose from our solid hardwood options or modern solid colors with our Duraline synthetics. Todd?
You bet, Dad. We'll build all new doors and drawer fronts with many styles to choose from, add new hardware, and if you wish, top it off with new custom-built counters. And how about adding a gorgeous new floor? Voila! A brand new luxurious look in your kitchen, having saved thousands. And you've not gone through the complications of a complete kitchen tear-out.
Right on, Todd. Folks, call and check us out. Book your kitchen now for select install dates and you'll enjoy a 12% savings. Kitchens, baths, counters and floors, and even replacement windows and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right. 303-722-2295, 800-362-8370, or drhi.com.
Slow drains only get worse. Plumbline Services can help. With 93 or free. If they can't clear your drains for just 93 bucks.
Take more tax courses.
I ended up getting my enrolled agent certificate, which was just a series of tests. But I didn't have to go back. I could go back and do what's called an LLM. It's like a master's of certain technique. You do a master's of a lot of different types of law. But I don't need it. I've been doing this for 15 years, so I got a little bit of expensive experience in that, So I got my own firm and stuff. So it's it's just a function of who hires you and if that fits for you. I thought I wanted to litigate. I found out that time constraint and that, especially I was like representing like Goldman Sachs and they're just like 2 a.m. like get back to me in 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm drunk, kind of thing. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go through something a little more work life, So I would just tell, hey, dude, grades are a big deal in law school. They really are. If you can be in the top 10% of your class, you're gonna be fine. Top 25, you're probably fine too. Once you start to the back end, then your job, options are gonna get more limited.
Right.
You might end up working for the state.
You hang out a shingle and you become Saul Goodman, right?
You could. You definitely could. Yeah. The internships for those guys. And it's not a bad thing, but I did clerk for the Arapahoe County District Court for a while. It was really cool because the view was of the Broncos training. It's just like working like, whoa. I know this in Peyton years, it was like greasy years or something. But it was just as long as you don't get mired in what you're going to do, just get through that class in the top 10%, and then the world's your oyster, And if she doesn't get that, or if they don't, if your daughter doesn't get that, then
she's going to be valedictorian.
There it is. Yeah, I was cum laude. I was happy with that. Actually, our current president was at my inauguration,
really?
My graduation. Yeah.
Joe was?
Joe was there. Big teeth, really tan. This was 2003, so he was a young man. He was a young kicker at the time.
You know what they say? The guy who graduates last year's medical school class is still doctor.
That's right.
You can still hang out your shingle.
Exactly. That's true. I mean, one of my friends, he's doing really well for himself now, but he went to DU and we lived next to each other for the first 4 or 5 years, and here I'm paying off my loans, doing everything right, and he's just like deferring, just having, and now he's got a family, he's got his own firm, he's doing great for himself. But, he just hung out a single, and the difference between him and me is that his growth was so much more painful coming out.
Right.
Whereas I got out and I got a job that was well paying, and I've never not had a job that's been well paying. There's been some stress involved with it, obviously, but he was like, I may not be able to pay rent this month until unless I can sell these 3 DUI deals or whatever. So a little bit of a different time.
All right, check it out. I just got an email. This guy said we had a Compass insurance.
This guy was so underinsured on his house, it was unbelievable. A lot of these people up in the Boulder fire, in fact, 93% of them were underinsured. So it is a big deal right now if there's a total loss. But anyhow, he had State Farm. He was so underinsured that he would have been upside down by far if he didn't get that raised. But not only did they almost double the insurance on the dwelling, got him better car insurance, they also got him an umbrella coverage of an additional $1 million, and he's paying $500 less than he was with State Farm. So they got him way better insurance across the board. God, I love emails like this. But at the same time, they saved the money. 303-996-9000. Just call these guys up. They need very little information to tell you how much they can save. They'll find the right company, but more importantly, right now, they're going to make sure, the guys at Compass are going to make sure you're not underinsured. All right, 303-996-9000. Now, we do have a line open, 303-713-8255. Hey, Suzanne, any luck with Trevor not answering over there at Wyatt's?
No, that's why I put it on the screen. He's not answering, so I don't know if you want me to follow up with him a different day.
Yeah, so Eric, let me go back to Eric real quick. Eric, I do want to get them on. I'm going to try to get him on. Trevor's a great guy. He comes on and gives the honest skinny. I would like to know how the tow companies are reading the different rules, especially what you talked about, because we've asked Trevor a lot of questions a few weeks ago, but I did not ask that question you have on HOAs, because that's a big one, man. You can't have commercial vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's our understanding that if you are in a gated, completely private community, then you can still enforce your rules.
No, I'm talking something like Highlands Ranch, a non-gated part of Highlands Ranch, where some guy has a roofing company.
Yeah, if it's a public right-of-way, the HOAs are not going to be able to enforce the restrictive rules.
So you're saying if they park on the street, everything's cool?
No, if they park on the, so in other words, like if I bring my, if I bring my semi home and park it in front of my house because it's a public right-of-way.
I'd be pissed if I was your neighbor and you brought a semi home. But go ahead.
I've got a neighbor that drives a dump truck. That's his plan is to start bringing it home.
Oh my God! No, I can't. We've got to ask him. We've got to find these answers out.
I'll get Eric's number.
Yeah, hold on, Eric. We'll also give you a heads up or get his email. We'll just shoot him an email when we know we're going to have Trevor on. These new towing rules, hey, some of them are really good and consumer friendly that I agree with. They're not going to tow anymore for not having having out-of-date tags. They're not going to hook your vehicle. Imagine you're a couple months out and all of a sudden your vehicle's gone. You got to pay $1,000 to get it back out. You miss a day of work. I mean, it's just a nightmare. I agree with that 100%. And as I was talking to our common woman in studio today, Rain, in your case, my understanding is 100% if you're in a townhome or a condo or even an apartment and you own or rent a specific spot, then you can call and they will come out, and long as you own it or they can prove you own it, they will tow without the 24-hour period wait. Because it would be useless. I was terrified the same way you were coming from. If I had a spot that was assigned to me and someone else is using it and you got to wait 24 hours, well, hell, the car ain't going to be there in 24 hours. There would be no punishment to it. It also doesn't cover a lot of commercial stuff. Hey, what's it like being in studio compared to listening? Being serious, I mean, is it exactly what you thought? I know you thought Tom was going to be here. He was going to be here today, but, I mean, you get to bask in my glory.
No, it's exciting. No, I've been listening to the show for a long time and get to learn a lot. It's different. It's different to see the behind-the-scenes things. And
do you notice Tom's diction isn't as well or as good or as fine as my diction? I put sentences together better. Suzanne, wouldn't you say I put sentences in a more... I mean, I realize he has that journalistically thing going, but I'm just saying I am more adequate with my speech.
Your speech, your spelling, your math, everything. It's on point.
Mark is always the best, and he's never been wrong. It's amazing.
As I tried to tell Tom, the louder you are, the righter you are. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, he taught me that.
Well, I think that Tom's kind of calmed down more on the yelling, but you're kind of making up for it sometimes.
You know how many times we get that? We had a guest in, it's been a week or so, but it's been pretty recent. I was really upset with McDonald Hyundai. I just couldn't believe what they were doing down there, but I'm not going to go back down that road. But I just went off. I was screaming, yelling. I was so frustrated. You know, I spent hours on hold, but I went off. The second I was done, Tom was very upset, and I don't remember. He had a rant that went on for 10 or 15 that was just as bad. And the guest said, straight to our face, man, I have never heard of you both going off in the same hour since pre-COVID. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, damn, COVID did change a lot of stuff. I mean, we had some, Suzanne, Tom and I have had some big arguments in studio, haven't we?
It's been awkward a few times.
Oh, my God. And then, I mean, let's just keep it at that. Now, you said behind the scenes. What did you mean by that?
Oh, just to see, like, the production area and just, I've never done anything with radio before, so it's kind of interesting.
It's pretty wild on breaks.
More fun when we're off the air, right?
Yeah.
You don't get offended by the F-bombs I drop off the air, right?
No, I was just a little surprised that there was a lot more cursing during the breaks than I thought there would be.
You know, I don't think we've ever had anybody not say that. I mean, if you watch us on YouTube, you'll know what she's talking about. There's no doubt about it.
No F-bombs today at all.
No. You know what's funny is there is kind of a show behind the show. There really is. Car days especially, too, because we could have 3, 4, 5 people in here. I mean, we could be totally talking about something else. You know, there's certain things you can't say on the radio when you're very upset. And, I mean, it is what it is. Jennifer, what's going on? What's your question? And thank you for holding, by the way, honestly.
Oh, sure.
You've been holding a long time.
We took money out of a tax-deferred investment account last year under the guise of a qualified charitable contribution, and so that it was not taxed.
Okay.
The withdrawal we take. This year we need to do RMDs. Will the qualified charitable contribution that we will do again this year reduce or go toward the RMD amount we need to take out?
I'm going to have to get Eric Reinemere or Mallory on for that, Suzanne. I'm not even going to attempt to pretend I know how they would handle that. These are both, are you guys over retirement age or no?
My husband is.
Okay, so, and it's his 401k?
Yes.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm interested in that. Steve, you're not going to know the answer to that, are you?
I understand the terms, but I have no idea about the accounting on that.
You know, accounting is so strange. We were just talking about something Suzanne and I purchased last year for one of our businesses. And when you start thinking about how you can deduct big items, it's mind-blowing to me how the game changes so constantly in the IRS's eyes. Like, explain to me why, if you buy something, let's just throw numbers at it, $350,000. Let's say it's a piece of equipment. You can either take a certain amount completely up front, but it's not the full amount of $350,000. But you might, if you want to take the biggest amount that year that you possibly can, let's say they give you $200,000 or $190,000, but then you can't take anything the following years. You get that benefit, which is the biggest benefit for one single year, or you can take it over 5 years and get the full benefit. It's like, I don't even understand why some of these rules are the way the rules are. I mean, if you buy something you need, I guess I just don't understand why you can't expense it. We're going to try to get Eric on with Atlas CPAs. Oh, is he up? Hey, Eric, I got to take this break. Eric, I appreciate it. And Jennifer, we have our expert up. We'll go ahead and get that answered for you. 303-713-8255.
This is Denver's
Empower. Like Empower People? Yeah. Is that the same company? Empower Mortgage?
Yeah, we have it.
That's like the Bronco?
No.
Is it not?
No.
Something different?
Yeah, that's Empower Reverse Mortgage.
I got you. Okay.
It's kind of weird. I always said, why do people just, I'm not saying everybody, but most people that do traditional lending don't do reverse mortgages. And most people that do reverse mortgages don't do traditional lending. I've always found that strange. It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all the same shit. They're completely different, but why wouldn't you do both?
I think, if you're younger, and you want to have that equity in your house.
No. I'm saying people that sell the products.
Oh, right.
They did. You go to American Financing, they don't do reverse mortgages. Yeah. You go to Ideal Home Loans, they don't. Yeah. You go to Empower Reverse, they don't do a 30-year mortgage.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah. I wonder if it's just a different.
Next time one of them is in, we should ask them that.
Yeah.
All right, Empower Reverse Mortgage. What I love about Mark Massey, he's the owner down there.
Hey, Skinny, maybe you've been thinking about getting a reverse mortgage. You don't quite understand how it works. You don't understand if you're going to have a line of credit. Some people, instead of having access to a line of credit, they get a certain amount each month as income instead. But if you want to live in that home until you want to move and not make any more mortgage payments, call up Mark. Ask him about your reverse mortgage circumstance. He's going to tell you everything there is to know, and honestly, if it's not right for you, he'll be the first to tell you. Empower Reverse Mortgage, 720-500-7719, 720-500-7719.
Hey, this is Rick Lewis. If you think
it's possible you need to have different licenses or something.
Well, I haven't heard this. I haven't heard his voice for a while. Is he on a lot of spots?
Who's that?
Rick Lewis.
Yeah, okay.
Is he on the Fox still?
Who's that, Dave?
Rick Lewis.
Oh, Rick Lewis.
They're calling it 103.5 the mullet this weekend. Did they rebrand themselves?
What's that?
103.5 the mullet. Have you heard this?
No.
I was listening to the radio, working on my garage this weekend.
That's what they said.
The mullet.
So weird.
I don't know.
Maybe it was that Motley Crue Poison Def Leppard thing was on Thursday.
Okay, maybe that's
You know what's so funny about what you said? It has nothing to do with what you said. I just placed a bunch of ads on 103.5 for a certain company. I'm not going to say who it is. but I was trying to hit a certain demographic, and you are literally the demographic. That's kind of fucking cool.
That I was listening to it.
40 to 50-year-old professional men. That's literally what I was
working
saying.
on their garage, listening to one of the two.
No, I had nothing to do with working on their garage.
It was an ED.
Oh,
No,
no,
it was
this guy today. He's on fire.
Can I tell you, he's the only person I know that got kicked off.
You may not. I've not heard that yet.
Did he tell you I'm bragging? Our daughter's going to law school.
I did, yeah. I was chit-chatting.
I already bragged.
That's great. That's great.
And then she's the youngest in the school.
Oh, wow.
Probably she will
All
be,
right,
huh?
cool. Yeah.
No,
Law
she
school,
was the youngest.
unlike college, law school is a lot like high school. You get like lockers and there's like cliques. And
Yep.
There's like a lot
Interesting.
a lot of in hooking up and all that, you know. I mean, I was basically married at the time when I went to law school, but
Yeah.
if she's going in as a 20-year-old, she better keep her head down.
Or up.
Yeah.
And the next day,
Her schedule
I can get you that urinal.
her schedule's like pretty much predetermined for the first year or two. Is that how all of that's so you don't go and try to fight for your classes? It's
No,
like,
yeah, you gotta get your like core classes out of the way, and then like second year, third year, you get more choices. That's what you
Gotcha.
Yeah, good for her.
It's a perfect fit for her, though, Wyoming. She's so conservative. Seriously.
It's a little windy up there. It's a little windy. But yeah, no,
I can't
tell her
wait.
Don't tell her that. Don't tell her that.
Tell her congratulations. It'll be fine.
the worse the weather is, the more studying you get done.
Exactly. That's why Syracuse is a great place to go.
But I tell you, Washington, D.C. was so hot and humid.
Ugh.
Like I said, thank God the library was air conditioned.
Right. God, what a mess. That's what I got the crime rate out there. Everybody's just losing their freaking mind, you know. Chicago's the same way.
Now, I'd love to ask one of these guys that are doctors and lawyers whether first year medical school or first year law school is harder.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
It'd be interesting to see what they would say.
You need to get that one dude who's both getting
Yeah.
The one attorney.
Ramos.
Yeah, which one was harder?
Yeah, but one he went too young and one he went too older. That's going to change the whole game.
Completely different perspective. I mean, like I said, I was engaged when I went to law school. If I was a single guy, I would have been a completely different experience. Yeah.
That'd be pretty crazy. So you got married young?
Yeah, so when I graduated, so I was 26.
When did you get engaged?
When I was like 24.
Oh, okay.
I know we spent a couple times, a couple years, getting out of school and all that.
How long have you been married then? 14?
Yeah, 15 years this year, actually.
We got 30, man.
Double me up.
She moved in at,
God bless you.
She moved in with me at 16.
God bless her. You know.
I've never seen a couple spend as much time together as they do and still love each
Not
other.
Yeah.
24/7, man.
Yep. A lot of drugs, I guess.
Well, honestly, she's my best friend. You hear a lot of couples say that.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's not true. They each have their own fucking best friend. It's simply not true. And I will call people out on that.
Codependent. That's
Well, you guys, it is, I think.
Yeah.
You do so much together.
All right, 303-713-8255, Garage Magic. Man, you want those beautiful polyaspartic coating on your garage. It'll get rid of all the oil stains, of course, you have now, but the cool part is it'll keep it clean. It doesn't matter what falls on this stuff. It doesn't matter what you drop on it. It's bulletproof. You just take a hose and clean off oil, gasoline. You can get it on your patio. It's great coating. You got to check these guys out. GarageMagic.com, GarageMagic.com. And by the way, I get this email every freaking day. Every day. The promo code is Tom. You want the best CBD out there. RealCBDThatWorks.com, promo code Tom. I know it's a little confusing that the promo code we should give out more because sometimes we give other promo codes out, like Save 40 and stuff like that, but it's promo code Tom to make it easy at RealCBDThatWorks.com. And yes, those are the people seed to sale. They're the best out there. In fact, I've said this before. If you buy a different CBD product, there's a heck of a good chance you're actually taking Panacea and paying more for it because they white box or white label their product and other companies sell it. Of course, we can't talk about what other companies, but you've heard of them, but you're probably paying too much for Panacea through another way. So go to RealCBDThatWorks.com,
promo code Tom. Now, we have our expert Eric Weinemir on with Atlas CPAs. Eric, how are you doing, man? Long time no talk, sir.
We're just rocking along over here.
Hey, this time of year, you get to finally calm down. I think you guys have, what is there, one more extension or what?
Well, there's the September company extension, and then there's the October individual extension.
And then that's it. So everybody's pretty much finalized by now. In other words, your life, you're kind of, if you're going to go on vacation, it's coming up soon.
That's good theoretically, except I will have to tell you, we've only seen about 70% of our annual clients come through yet because a lot of people procrastinate.
Oh, my God. We were just
Believe
talking.
It or not.
I was just talking to Steve Sizik. He's with me today. You know Larson Tax Relief. They're great guys.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Eric, how you doing, man?
And I know you guys kind of work together there. You send people his way that owe, you know, a ton of money, but that's crazy. Only 70%. So 30% of your clientele. Now, have most of them, even if their taxes aren't finalized out of curiosity, have they sent in what they most likely owe?
Some have. The ones that are good planners have, and there's others that haven't even gotten that far into the conversation.
I got lucky this year. I say lucky. There's nothing lucky about taxes, but I just finalized like a week ago, Eric, and I actually overpaid back in April to make sure I wouldn't owe anything, so I get to put a bunch of money towards my next year taxes. I love when you overpay, but you never see your money back. I've never quite... You pay taxes, and then it doesn't really matter if they owe you back. They just take it for taxes in the future.
Yeah,
it's kind of strange.
If you don't pay, but if you overpay, they don't give you any interest.
Yeah, how come I don't get interest, Eric? That's a good point. Okay. If I overpaid, shouldn't the interest start? You know what I'd do? I'd overpay like crazy. That's why they don't do it.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, my God, I'd send them every nickel I had, guaranteed money. Yeah. Hey, Eric, Jennifer's got a question. I'm going to have her ask you straight up because I did not write it down. Jennifer, ask Eric Reinemir your question.
And which company is Eric with?
He is with Atlas CPAs and Advisors on our referral list at referrallist.com. Right. He actually does a lot of our taxes for Troubleshooter Network, and he's done some for different companies Tom and I own and Suzanne own.
Okay, because I'm getting to the point where I don't know if I can continue to do our taxes. They're getting a little confusing.
Oh, these guys are great, but go ahead, ask the question.
Okay, last year we took money out of a tax-deferred 401k type investment and did a qualified charitable contribution with it, and it went directly to the beneficiary. This year we're going to do the same thing, but we also have to start the RMDs. So will the QCD or QCC offset the RMD or not?
The answer is yes. You can use your RMD money, whatever, let's say it's $10,000. You just need to have it go directly from your brokerage company there, and it achieves the same goal as you did last year without it being connected to an RMD. So the answer is yes.
And then, I don't want to get too in the weeds on that, but that is your answer. Here's what I do want to do, though, Jennifer. I'm going to give you Eric's phone number if you have any follow-up questions. And anybody out there, you want a great accountant, maybe you got a small business, you're to the point where it's not going to be a tax preparer anymore. You actually need someone that can probably save you more money than you could ever imagine. Call up Eric and the guys at Atlas, 303-799-9111, 303-799-9111. Eric, I appreciate it. I'm just up against a hard break. Thanks, man.
Yep. All right.
Later, Eric, 303-713-8255. We'll be right back.
Now, impact traffic.
Eric, do that. Oh, my God, yeah.
I know what you're saying. I mean, I'm like, all right, well, it makes sense. You know?
It is kind of funny, though, if you're forced to take money, but yet you're going to make a charitable donation. The interesting part is he said you want that charitable donation to go directly from the 401k over to wherever.
So it never touches your own account, so there's no issue.
But why would it make a difference? I mean, unless if you lie and literally get out. I wonder if if we had more time, that's what I dig into is, I understand you could lie and that probably makes it easier to lie. Right. But if you literally just have to go to your account and then you transfer it over, it's the same end result no matter what, unless they're saying that you had access to that money for any period of time.
Yeah. Well, the broker will have to file a 1099, and you'd want them to file the 1099 to the charitable. So you would not want to file it in your name.
I got you, because then you have income. Yeah. Okay, it's a paper trail. Even though it's the same outcome, it's the paper trail.
It's what we'll post on the IRS's automated system. That's why people get audited. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, once again, you win the audit, but you gotta. A guy like me, yeah.
So we bought this RV last year, and it was like $350, and I could offset everything by 170 something this year, or I can depreciate it and get 100% value over 5 years. But this year, year one, I can only take, it was like 90 or what is it? It's whatever percentage. It's like it's so fucking stupid.
Like straight line depreciation versus extended.
But how do they come up with that? How do they come up with the 172? Why that mathematical bullshit off of a 350 expense?
It's a percentage base.
But why?
I have no idea.
How are you deducting it, Mark? Is it a business expense?
It's all business, man.
So your RV, you said is business?
It is all business. I don't just say it is. We do the show from there. We do everything. I hit different radio stations. We're just lucky that we can work at it. I got a full studio in there, Doc.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
My accountant Mallory maybe literally take pictures of the full studio and receipts. And
yeah. Crazy. It's got to be a picture on the side.
All right, guys.
You want a quick update?
Lawyer.co.
All right, 303-713-8255. Actually, we don't have time. We're going to have to, anybody on, we're going to get their number. We're going to, what? Oh, my goodness. You're killing me. Frank Duran, the real estate man. Oh, my goodness. I got to start paying attention. Frank Duran, the real estate man, how I love thee. Why? Here's why. Because he saved me a ton of money. To be straight and honest about it, when we were looking for a new house, he negotiated the price of it down with the owner. He actually did a search out there to see if the owner had any other mortgages. Sure enough, they did. Then we got together. He told me how he wanted to approach it, and it worked out, and he saved me a ton of money. And when he sold our house in Castle Rock, he got us a higher amount for that house than the same model anywhere else in the neighborhood. He sells more homes, no kidding, Frank Duran sells more homes in 1 month than most realtors sell in an entire year. Give Frank a call. Go to frankduranhomes.com. You can get his number. He'll do a free evaluation, and he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. frankduranhomes.com. Sheridan Auto Tech, Uncle Kevin. I use Uncle Kevin all the time. If you have a car, I don't care if it's an import, I don't care if it's a German car, United States made, anything there is, he can work on. He'll save you money from the dealership when it comes to repairs, and he can maintain it for a better price and a better warranty. Check it out. A nationwide 3-year 36,000-mile warranty on everything he does. That's through the Napa centers across the country. It is an absolute great deal. It's the best warranty out there. Multiple locations. See which one's closest to you at SheridanAutotech.com. Now, we've been talking about the liquid loan. You've heard about it. Now it's time to call about it. I am not kidding. Call up Kurt Rogers right now and say, hey, Kurt, I've got a 30-year mortgage right now. We'd like to tap into some of that equity. We might not use it right now, but we'd like to have it. He's going to tell you how much money he can save you monthly when it comes to a mortgage payment. He's going to tell you how he's going to set up a line of credit based on the equity in your house that'll be open for 30 years, and you can pay it up, you can pay it down. You can even offset your mortgage payment by money in the bank. If you have a small business, this is the best way to do it. If you have a rental property or you have one you're looking at purchasing, you can actually purchase a second house or a rental property with the liquid loan and save money. You can do interest-only payments. You can do all kinds of things. But my favorite part is you have that line of credit that's set up for a year. Call for all the details. I'll bet you anything he can save you money right now on a mortgage payment, and you'll have access to that line of credit. 720-895-0500 or theliquidloan.com.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
Oil keeps going up. Get in on the next major oil boom now and help make an...
Hey, Rain, were you able to look at your calendar? I think Friday the 26th of August. Okay, then I'm going to...
Yeah, wow, I'm going back to the show. I didn't even realize it only been 30 seconds.
Now, for that date, Mark and I are going to be gone, so you will be dealing with my team member Kelly as far as getting you in the studio and all that.
I was thinking about that cold beer. Or, I mean, yoga.
Yoga and smoothies.
Yeah,
kale smoothies.
It's either yoga and kale smoothies or pepperoni pizza and an IPA. I'm just going to chill up in the air.
Twist my arm.
Grapefruit IPA or grapefruit. I don't know. We were having an argument. I think bowling is actually better for you than yoga. I can name multiple different ways, but she's not buying it.
The only sport you can do crushing nachos and beer and get better.
Yoga bowling.
Yoga bowling. There you go.
So the last 15 minutes have been all commercials.
Yeah, it's winding down here. That's all right.
And you got 2 minutes before the next break.
Where you get 6 more minutes, we're done here. You got till 2, right?
What's that?
This show's at 2.
Yeah, we're down. Who's in tomorrow? Oh, I gotta see. I did Panacea. I just did. Right.
You did all 3 that were on the list there.
Panacea. The only one I got left is SaferNet. Nope, that's not true. I did Magic. I gotta do SaferNet and Water Pros.
In 1 minute?
He's good. I can fit in.
I would love to see a demographic.
Okay, guys. Listen, I'm not kidding. This one is so important. Water Pros, Paul the Waterman, he's going to come out to your house. He's going to do a free test. Oh, high pressure. He's an honest guy. In fact, everybody that works for him, including themselves, are licensed plumbers. But he's going to come out with a free water test kit. If you live in one of the 12 water districts, including Denver, and you received a letter about Forever Chemicals, he'll come out to your house and do a water test for free. And if you end up getting a system because you need one, to get that water to where it should be, he's got the best prices around. Full water system starting at under $2,000. Some of his competition sells these for $6,000, $8,000, $10,000. He's got whole house water softenings for under $1,900. Point of use systems for well under $1,000. You got to check these guys out, but get that free water test if you got one of those letters. And if you didn't, he'll still come out and do the free water test. It's not that old school crap where they're trying to scare you into buying something you don't need. It's a real honest deal. 303-862-5554. I've never met anybody in my life that knows more about water than Paul. 303-862-5554 or waterpros.net. And that made me think of SaferNet. If you're still out there on a mobile device and you go on Wi-Fi's like I do, whether you're at Starbucks or at a brewery or anywhere there's Wi-Fi, Walmart for that matter, you have no idea how intrusive that can be into your private life. You need to check out SaferNet. And right now, the guys at SaferNet, you download the app, and it's free for the first 45 days. No strings attached, 100% free. You can cancel at any time, but it'll protect you from malware, spyware, ransomware, viruses. And on the dashboard, when you're on a Wi-Fi network, you know, an open one, you can literally see different people trying to attack your phone. It's absolutely crazy. But you put in the promo code TOM, you get 44 days for free. And if you decide to use it, it's like $3-something a month. It is so cheap, it's crazy, and it'll protect you. I love it. Hey, Steve Sizik with Larson Tax Relief, I appreciate it. If you owe the government money, the bottom line is call these guys, LarsonTaxRelief.com, 844-LARSON-TAX. I really appreciate you coming in. And for everything you guys do for listeners, man, you have saved people a ton of money. Common Woman Rain Hayes, I appreciate you coming in. We loved having you. Everybody hang tight. My name's Mark Major. We'll be rocking and rolling tomorrow with Bonnie Shields in studio.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino.
And stay connected with all of us
at 630 KHOW.
KHOW.com.
And on the iHeartRadio app.
Leland Conway is next
on Denver's Talk Station.
630 KHOW.